and we only had, I think, a 2-run lead, or maybe even a 1-run lead, and we should have had like a 4 or 5-run lead, and when you get that early like that, it changes the whole game. And then just having the 1-run lead, we came in the top of the 5th and gave up 7 runs in that inning, and next thing you know, we're behind, and it's playing catch-up, and it was a long way to catch up. But I felt like that was one game where we had opportunities to score, and we didn't have the concentration level that we should have had, and it's really the only game I've seen that too much of, and overall we've been pretty good, and we swing the bats pretty good. But at this level sometimes, too, the hitters are a little impatient, especially when they get men on base like that. They want to do it right away, and they let their anxiety take over, and you just learn by those experiences, because it's just going to get more pressure as they go up the ladder.
Yeah, we're talking with Quakes manager Bobby Mitchell here on the Quakes on Deck show. One of the gifts that you have had so far this season has been consistency, at least in the lineup, in terms of the guys that you've been able to put out there, especially the big three with Michael Collins and Freddy Sandoval and Sean Rodriguez. You just got Sandy back. He missed close to a week with pink eye. So talk about his return, and furthermore, just talk about the fact that you've had a really stable roster. We've lost 7-Day, Rafi Rodriguez, and Carl Jonah, but really that's been it. It's been remarkably stable. And talk about the luxury of having the same group of guys every day.
Well, it's nice. Those 3 guys that we lost were huge for us, especially from a pitching standpoint. And the other guys that have come up have picked it up, and we've had players that have come in, and like a Leahy, that have picked us up also. So we're replacing good players with pretty good players, and they've been able to do the job so far. So that's huge for us to try to stay consistent and not get into a long losing streak and so forth. And so we're trying to get consistent so we start a winning streak and we get going a little bit, so we win like 3 or 4 in a row. But right now, it's been sporadic. But the roster, it's good to have Sandy back. I thought he was a little rusty coming back after those days off, and I think last night he started to get a little more in tune to the speed of the game and so forth. And good to have Sean, had a little bit of an injury early, and now he's back, and obviously Michael Collins swinging the bat the way he is. It's always good to have those guys in the lineup. And the other guys, the Fullers and the Toussaint, he's struggling, but at least they're in the lineup, and the only way you're going to get out of slumps and so forth is to play through it some, and so that's why they're in the lineup, of LeBlanc and so forth. They've been struggling, but I'm confident that they'll snap out of it, and then when they do, we'll be a pretty good hitting ball club.
Well, Bobby, we've been at this for roughly a month. I don't think we're quite to the 30-day mark, but we're getting close. How has this first month been for you in your first year as managing? I know that you had expectations coming in. How have they been met? How have they been different from what you expected?
Well, it's interesting. I don't like to lose much, and I'm not a real good loser in the fact that I think that from a team standpoint, part of development is developing a winning attitude, and I've said that before, and I've always felt that way. And I think that if we can just win and get winning streaks together and start getting that confidence that we need to win and win a championship, hopefully, then it'll come. But with this one win, winning one, losing one, winning one, that's been a little frustrating in the fact that we haven't been consistent. But overall, I'm pleased with how the team's performed in close to a month, and we're still hanging in there in the division, and I think there's a lot of parity in the division. There seems to be. We haven't seen Inland Empire yet, and some of the other teams up north, but we saw Stockton in spring training, and I know they're a good club, and we just look forward to battling it out with these guys, and it seems like it might go down the wire.
Well, one final question for Bobby Mitchell here on the Quakes on Deck show. Let's take a look at tonight's ball game. Finish up this quick little 3-game homestand with the rubber match of this series against Modesto. You're going to send Frankie Rodriguez to the hill. Only lasted an inning his last time out because he really labored in the first inning against Lancaster in his last start. But we've seen this guy go throw multiple innings and really take a load off the bullpen. What do you expect to see out of Frankie Rodriguez tonight?
Well, one of the reasons we had to pull him so early last time was he had a blister on his finger that he came up with, out of the blue, and it looked pretty bad when he was throwing. It was hard for him to throw, so we had to pull him in the first. But that's really the only time he struggled is that inning, and the other times he's pitched for us, he's pitched pretty well. He has a pretty good fastball and a good changeup and a very slow curveball. These guys haven't seen him yet, so he might have an advantage over them, at least for the first part of the game and so forth. So hopefully he can hold him, and we'll continue to swing the bats like we did at the end of the game last night.
That's what we'll be looking for. Those right there, the pregame comments of Quakes manager Bobby Mitchell. Bobby, as always, appreciate the time, and best of luck tonight. You guys try to take 2 out of 3.
Thanks, Rob. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now stay tuned for Quakes Baseball coming up right here on the Quakes Radio Network.
A few years ago, a small bank from Rancho, Cucamonga started sending shockwaves through the banking industry. Vineyard Bank rolled through Southern California with a creative force that is changing the way we bank. We created small ripples at first, with innovative ways to move money quickly and effectively, where it would help businesses and families the most. Then our reputation grew stronger thanks to personal bankers with a can-do attitude committed to building lasting relationships. Vineyard Bank's financial performance was off the scale. A fast-growing bank with a rising stock. New, customer-friendly branches offering easy access to your money, opening throughout the Southland. Online banking on our award-winning website at www.vineyardbank.com. That's Vineyard Bank. Proud to be your hometown bank. Proud to support our hometown team. For more information, please call 1-800-442-4996. That's 1-800-442-4996.
Here in Rancho, Cucamonga, the right-hander Francisco Rodriguez finishes off his warm-up tosses. Let's take a look at how the Modesto Nuts will line up against Rodriguez. Modesto coming in with a record of 13-13 here in the first half of play, 4.5 games back of the San Jose Giants in the California League Northern Division. Leading it off for Modesto is the very speedy switch hitter Corey Wimberly. He's at second base. Then another switch hitter, Jonathan Herrera, bats second, and the center fielder, Matt Miller, will hit third. In the middle of the order, Justin Nelson is the cleanup man. He's a left fielder. Doc Brooks, a free-swinging right fielder, will bat fifth. And then batting sixth and handling the catching is Neil Wilson. In the bottom third of the order for Modesto, Duke Sardina is the first baseman. He will bat seventh. It's our first look at Anthony Granado, who just got called up from extended spring training a day or so ago. He will bat eighth and play third base. And then rounding things out in the 9-hole is the DH Chris Fry. So again, for the Nuts, they go with Wimberly, Herrera, and Miller, Nelson, Brooks, and Wilson, followed by Sardina, Granado, and Fry. As Corey Wimberly is in from the left side, and Francisco Rodriguez misses down and away for ball one. We are underway right on time at 7:05 this evening. There's a ground ball pulled and caught by the first baseman, Cliff Remley. Nice diving stop by Remo. He'll get up, take it to the bag himself, and score that one 3 unassisted. Remley and Sandoval, the two corner infielders for the Quakes, were both playing in on the grass right there, because you always have to be aware of Corey Wimberly trying to bunt his way on. And Wimberly gave a full swing and hit a ball pretty hard up the first base line. Nice job by Remley to dive to his left and stab that one for the first out. So Wimberly retired, base is empty. Here's Jonathan Herrera. And we count 0-1 as Rodriguez hits on a fastball. Outfield around towards left. Rodriguez misses outside there. And it's even at 1-1. Now fastball down low, 2 balls and a strike. Let's tell you about Francisco Rodriguez, native of Mexicali, Mexico. 6'3", 220 pounds, signed as a free agent. Just this last December, this is his first professional season. Fouled off to our left by Herrera. And it's even at 2-2. Francisco Rodriguez on the year with a record of 0-1 and a 2.25 earned run average. Making his third start of the year, working in the number 2 spot in the Quakes rotation. Misses high with a 4-seamer there, and it's full up 3-2. Rodriguez with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks in 8 innings this year. Opponents hitting .323 against him. Payoff pitch to Herrera, high and outside And that is ball 4. So Herrera draws a walk. And a base runner for the Nuts here in the top of the first. As that will bring them to their very dangerous center fielder, Matt Miller. Miller, who stands in for the right side, hitting .327 this year. 4 home runs, leads the California League with 24 RBIs. Just does it all, fastball high and away. And it's a ball and no strikes, and Michael Collins, the catcher, wants to go out for a quick talk with Francisco Rodriguez. Set up the Quakes defensively for you. In the outfield, Drew Toussaint is in left. Josh LeBlanc in center, and Cody Fuller is in right field. So Toussaint, LeBlanc, and Fuller in the outfield, left to right. Give you the infield in just a second. A little lob over to first to keep Herrera honest, and he's back easily. Now on the infield for the Quakes, Freddy Sandoval is at third base. Sean Rodriguez is at short. On the right side, Nate Sutton plays second. Cliff Remily plays first, and the catcher is Michael Collins. Francisco Rodriguez from the stretch. Quicker toss over to first this time. Herrera's back in once again as he dives in. Jonathan Herrera just 2 out of 5 in stolen base attempts this year. Off to a pretty modest lead there at first. Quakes have the infield at double play depth. And Rodriguez steps off. Quakes wearing the home whites. White tank tops, white pants, black undershirts, black socks. Francisco Rodriguez has the pants pulled all the way up for the high socks look. There's a fastball swung on and missed by Matt Miller. And the count evens up at 1-1. Modesto wearing the black tops with the gray pants as Miller looks down to Chad Kruder, the manager, giving the signs over there at third base. Hitting coach Glenn Allen Hill is coaching first for the Nuts tonight. No score here in the top of the first. 1 on, 1 out. Herrera moving. And the hit and run was on as Miller fouls it off up the third base side. We'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes now to count. Francisco Rodriguez throws 5 different pitches. Throws a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seamer, a cutter, a changeup, and a curve. See what he goes to here with 2 strikes on Miller. The 1-2 home. Went to a, looks like a cutter. Diving away from Matt Miller. Swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. So Francisco Rodriguez records his first strikeout. Miller gone, and there are 2 away here in the top of the first. Herrera's still aboard at first, and here's the cleanup man, Justin Nelson. Nelson in from the left side. Batting .296, couple of home runs, and 13 RBIs. As Rodriguez comes home with a fastball, it's a called strike on the inside corner. And the count 0-1. Lights are on here in Rancho Cucamonga. And very cloudy skies out beyond the left field wall. 0-1. Tried to check his swing, but he went around on the 2-seamer from Frankie Rodriguez. And Mexrod, as he's called in the clubhouse, of course, the native of Mexicali, Mexico. Mexrod ahead in the count at 0-2. Collins with an outside target. Rodriguez still from the stretch in the 0-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. 92 miles an hour on the black from Francisco Rodriguez, and not a whole lot that Justin Nelson could do with it right there. So much for that 1-out walk. Rodriguez comes back to strike out Miller and Nelson to end things here in the top of the first. And Modesto is turned away. Nuts in the first get no runs on no hits. No Quakes errors, and 1 runner left. To the bottom of the first we go. It's the Nuts 0, and the Quakes coming up.
Galliano Winery, located at 1431 Wineville Road in Mariloma, California. In business since 1927, the Galliano family's roots run deep in Cucamonga Valley's winemaking history. Offering a unique array of 25 varieties, including award-winning wines as well as custom label, the Galliano tradition continues to grow in the Inland Empire. Try the latest award-winning wines in a relaxed country atmosphere of the tasting room. Enjoy a tour of our landmark complex or relax in the beautiful picnic grounds. To reach Galliano Winery, call 909-685-5376. That's 909-685-5376. Or stop by Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
The most important trait of any firearm isn't caliber, it's safety. Whether you're a novice or a pro, take a gun safety or refresher course and always store your weapons out of the reach of children. A safety reminder from Prado Olympic Shooting Park, a practice range for rifle, pistol, trap, and skeet. Now newly reopened, come see what's new. From our renovated clubhouse to our new landscaping, we're better than ever. Visit us off the 71 freeway in Euclid or online at shootprado.com. Prado Olympic Shooting Park. Bearing arms is your right. Firearm safety is your responsibility.
Opie Trice, real name, no gimmick. Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
Bottom of the first inning here in Rancho Cucamonga, and the Quakes in a scoreless ball game as the right-hander Deduno has finished his warm-up toss. And let's take a look at how the Quakes will line up against Deduno. Leading it off for the Quakes is the right fielder Cody Fuller. Then it's the third baseman Freddy Sandoval, and the shortstop Sean Rodriguez will hit third. Michael Collins, as usual, in the cleanup spot for the Quakes. He's catching tonight. Cliff Remley, the first baseman, bats fifth, and hitting sixth and doing the DHing is Matt Pauley as Fuller gets out of the way. Fastball inside from Deduno, and it's 1-0. Right-hander against right-hander. Cody Fuller, the league-leading hitter with a .387 average. Tops in the California League. Has a fastball strike at the knees. It's 1-1. Nate Sutton bats seventh for the Quakes. He'll play second base. Drew Toussaint drops down to the 8th spot. He's in left field. And rounding it out in the 9 hole is the center fielder, Josh LeBlanc. Fuller fouls this one off to our right. And Deduno ahead in the count 1-2. So again for the Quakes, it's Fuller, Sandoval, and Rodriguez. Collins, Remley, and Pauley, followed by Sutton, Toussaint, and LeBlanc. And the starter again is the right-hander, Francisco Rodriguez. 1-2 from Deduno. Change up, down and away. And it's even at 2-2. Quakes come into this game with a record of 14-12 on the year. They are in third place in the California League Southern Division, a game and a half behind first place High Desert. 2-2, fastball outside corner, and that's a call. Strike three. Cody Fuller goes down looking, and Samuel Deduno, who has a lot of strikeouts in the first place, folks, picks up another one to open things here in the bottom of the first. Vitals on Samuel Deduno, the native of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. Deduno 6'1" and 170 pounds. Still just 22 years old. And Sandoval is in from the left side, high and away, and it's 1-0. Deduno on the season has a record of 1-1 and a 3.38 earned run average. But what you really look at, folks, is the strikeouts. Fastball high and away, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Deduno, 35 strikeouts in 26 2/3 innings. That is a ton of strikeouts. And he's already picked up one on Fuller so far here in the bottom of the first. Now, 2-0 the count on Freddy Sandoval. Showed bunt, pulled it back, and Deduno misses outside. And he's fallen behind to the switch hitter Sandoval, 3-0. Freddy in from the left side. Batting .289 this year. 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. There's a fastball on the outside corner. Sandy was ready to toss his bat away. Holds on to it, and the strike is called. Now the 3-1 from Deduno. There's a fastball right down the middle. And it's gone full, 3-2. Bobby Mitchell looking on from the third base coach's box. Craig Graybeck, as always, coaching first for the Quakes. There's a fastball outside, and that is ball 4. So after falling behind 3-0, Deduno came back to run it full, and then loses Freddy Sandoval on the payoff pitch. So Sandoval walks with 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and the Quakes get their first base runner. We'll see what Sean Rodriguez can do. No score here in the bottom of the first. The rubber match of this 3-game series. Quakes trying to build off last night's 6-4 win before they head north to Bakersfield for a 3-game set starting tomorrow. There's Sean Rodriguez from the right side. Deduno from the stretch, and the fastball is down low for ball 1. Sean Rodriguez hitting .380. That is second in the California League, behind only Cody Fuller. 4 home runs and 13 runs batted in for Sean. Infield is at double play depth. There goes Freddy Sandoval. Good jump. The throw down to second by Neil Wilson, the catcher, not in time. A stolen base for Freddy Sandoval as he moves himself into scoring position. And for Sandoval, his team leading 7th stolen base of the year. He is now 7 for 10 in that department. Rodriguez took a strike, so the count 1-1 on Sean Rodriguez. But if he can come through with a hit, it'll give the Quakes a chance to take the first lead of the game as Deduno wants a talk with his catcher, Neil Wilson. Set up the nuts defensively for you. In the outfield, Justin Nelson in left. Matt Miller in center. Doc Brooks in right. So Nelson, Miller, and Brooks in the outfield. The infield for the Nuts, Anthony Granado gets the start at third base. Jonathan Herrera is at short. On the right side, Corey Wimberly plays second. Duke Sardina plays first, and the catcher is Neil Wilson. Rodriguez ready to go, so Samuel Deduno. Check of the runner, and the 1-1. A changeup swung on and missed. And it's 1-2. John Rodriguez from a very athletic family. His brother Robert is a catcher in the Washington Nationals organization. Fortunately, did not get to see Robert Rodriguez play last season. I want to say he suffered a broken leg when he was with Potomac. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop, Jonathan Herrera. He'll allow Sandoval to go to third, but he'll get the out at first as Rodriguez grounds out 6-3. Sandoval does move up 90 feet, however, so the Quakes with the first run of the game just 90 feet away, and we'll see what Michael Collins can do. No score here in the bottom of the first. Freddy Sandoval walked with 1 out, stole second base, and has now moved to third on that ground out by Sean Rodriguez. So Collins, if he can come through with a hit, a chance to add to his team-leading total of 23 RBIs. Right-hander against right-hander. Collins hitting .326 on the season. That is just outside the top 10. Fastball down low from Deduno, and it's 1-0. And to put those RBIs in perspective for you folks, Collins with 23 ribs in 23 games. Second place on the Quakes belongs to Matt Pauley, who has 16 RBIs in 24 games. So 7 fewer RBIs in 1 more game for Matt Pauley. That's how impressive Michael Collins has been offensively this year. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. And Collins, still a ways to go defensively behind the plate. But that bat is going to carry him. I mean, 2 quickest ways to the big leagues are as a left-handed pitcher or a hitting catcher. And Collins certainly fits the profile of a hitting catcher. You continue to put up numbers like he's putting up, and they'll find a spot for you. Here's a ground ball rolled over to the shortstop, Jonathan Herrera. He'll go across the diamond, gets Collins at first, and Samuel Deduno strands that runner over there on third base. So nothing doing for the Quakes after getting Sandoval into scoring position. No runs, no hits, no errors, and Sandoval stranded at third. We go to the second, no score between the Quakes and the Nuts.
Great moments in Laughlin history. Jeff from Barstow tries out his new camera phone.
Hey, Jeff sending pictures from Laughlin.
Looks like you rented a jet ski.
Cool. Now he's floating by a pontoon boat.
Are there girls on there?
Yeah, those are girls.
Are they hot?
Yeah, and they're really tan. I think he's in a casino now.
Are the girls with him?
They're blowing on his dice. Nice, he won.
Good. He owes me money.
They're in a nightclub now.
Whoa.
Knee-deep in females.
That never happens when we're with them.
Hello?
Hey, man, you guys should have come down here.
Jeff says hello.
Uh-huh.
I hate Jeff.
Laughlin, Nevada. found it on Fun.
I don't want to know what that is.
For information, call 1-800-4-LAUGHLIN or go to visitlaughlin.com.
For 60 years, you've included Best Western in your family's summer vacation. To say thanks, the Best Western hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada are offering a limited edition $50 Best Western travel card and up to 20% off your stays with their baseball fan rate. Experience the best summer ever with the Best Western hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada, because when you stay any 6 nights with them through August 19th, you'll receive a $50 travel card to use toward a future Best Western stay anywhere in the world, including the 338 hotels in California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Visit them today at bestwesternbaseball.com or call 866-743-8738, and remember to book the baseball fan rates.
It's the top of the second here in Rancho Cucamonga, and a scoreless game as Francisco Rodriguez is ready to go. Next Rod will work to the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Nuts. Doc Brooks, Neil Wilson, and then Duke Sardina. Fans want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by Chili's Bar and Grill in Rancho Cucamonga. Located at 10598 Foothill Boulevard, enjoy the atmosphere inside or the convenience of Chili's to go. That's Chili's. Live a little. There's a swing and miss by Doc Brooks. Late on the fastball, and it's 0-1. Doc Brooks likes to go after the first pitch. I was sitting in on the meeting that Frankie Rodriguez and Michael Collins had with the pitching coach Eric Bennett as they were going over the game plan for all the hitters, and they said, hey, throw junk there to Doc Brooks early in the count and see if he'll chase it. Change up outside there, and it's 1-1. Brooks hitting .220. 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Right-hander against right-hander. This one driven into the gap in right center field. Hit pretty hard. LeBlanc going back on it. Going to have to play this one off the wall. Extra bases for Doc Brooks. He'll get to second standing up. A leadoff double to right center field for Doc Brooks. And Modesto with a runner into scoring position here in the top of the second. For Brooks, his 3rd double of the year. And that's the first hit of the night for either club. So Brooks aboard. Here's Neil Wilson, the catcher. Rodriguez will work from the stretch. Right-hander against right-hander, and Neil Wilson goes after the first pitch. Fouls this one off into the seats off to our right. Fan will track it down, and it's 0-1. Fans, believe it or not, my voice tonight actually an improvement over where it was at last night. I know it's hard to believe, but making progress, trying to get back. The strike to Wilson, it's 0-2, but I felt terrible about missing last night's game. It's actually the first game that I'd ever missed. This is my 5th year of doing baseball, and I'd never missed a game before, but you know, when you've got a backup like Dan Hubbard, there's a bouncing ball right back to Rodriguez, fields it on the hill, and he'll chase Brooks back to second base, and Rodriguez will just tag him out. What a fantastic play by Francisco Rodriguez. A ground ball that was headed back up the middle, and Rodriguez, first of all, made a great play just to stab that ball, and then made an even better play to put Doc Brooks into the pickle all by himself and then tag him out. How many times do you see a one unassisted fielder's choice in between the second and third base bags? I don't think I've ever seen it before. That is great work by Frankie Rodriguez. Brooks out one unassisted. Neil Wilson goes to first on the play on the fielder's choice. And here's Duke Sardina. Outside to Sardina, it's 1-0. Like I was saying, folks, I felt bad to miss yesterday's ball game, but you know, when you've got a guy like Dan Hubbard, who's been doing this for 18 years, available when you need him, you know, there was no reason for me to do the game last night. Downstairs, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. I slid over, did official scoring, because, you know, I knew I wasn't going to sound very good. I knew that Dan Hubbard was going to be more enjoyable to listen to, and that's the most important thing, is, you know, having you listeners out there enjoy what you're listening to. 2-0, change up on the outside corner. And it's 2 balls and a strike on Duke Sardina. No score here in the top of the second. 1 on, 1 out for Modesto. Duke Sardina hitting .269, 3 home runs and 13 runs batted in. 2-1, check swing and a fastball down the dirt, getting past the catcher Michael Collins. And going to second on the wild pitch is Neil Wilson. So a wild pitch given up by Francisco Rodriguez. That moves Wilson into scoring position, and a good hitter's count for Sardina at 3-1. Sardina, a couple of hits yesterday, went 2 for 5. .3-1 from Rodriguez. There's a 2-seamer in at the knees, and it's full up 3-2. Well, I kind of felt like an absentee parent last night, and certainly was going to feel that way if I didn't do the game tonight, because I'm not going to be with you guys over the weekend in Bakersfield. There's a changeup just outside, and that is ball 4. That was close, folks. And Francisco Rodriguez does not get the call. Sardina draws a walk. Second walk given up by Francisco Rodriguez tonight. And now runners at first and second with 1 out here in the top of the second. Still a scoreless game, but Modesto threatening here in the second. Of course, if Rodriguez can get a ground ball from Anthony Granado, now you turn 2, get out of the inning, and all is forgiven. Granado stands in from the right side. First time we have seen him. Right-hander against right-hander, and the fastball on the outside corner. It's 0-1. All we know about Anthony Granado are the vitals on him. 6'1", 195 pounds. He's from Burlingame, California. Just got called up from extended spring yesterday and making his first start of the year here tonight. Fastball down low, and it's 1-1. The fans, like I said, not going to be able to bring you the action from Bakersfield over the weekend, but don't worry about it. We've got it in good hands because Jason Anaforian, the voice of the Quakes for the last 2 years, has graciously agreed to step in and do those games from up in Bakersfield outside. 2 balls and a strike, and Michael Collins wants to talk to Francisco Rodriguez. So I was absolutely thrilled when Jason was able to do those games. So he'll be with you Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon as the Quakes visit, I believe it's Sam Lynn Ballpark up there in Bakersfield. 2-1 now from Rodriguez. Granado fouled it down the right field side. Cody Fuller going to range over and give it a look, but that's well into the seats. And it's even at 2-2. So I would have felt absolutely terrible if I didn't do the game tonight, because you would have had 2 nights of Dan Hubbard, which, I mean, again, that's great. Then you would have had three nights of Jason Anaforian, and off day on Monday, I would have gone a week without doing games, and that just wouldn't be right. I wouldn't like doing that. I would miss this too much. So at least get 1 game in here, let Anaforian do the weekend, and then I will hold every inning with an iron fist for the rest of the year. There's no way they're going to get me off the air the rest of this season. 2-2, fastball foul back to the screen. And I will do it again. Scoreless game here in the top of the second. Quakes and the Nuts in the finale of this 3-game series. Neil Wilson, the runner on second for Modesto. Duke Sardina is at first. Infield a double play depth. Outfield around towards right. Here's the 2-2 from Rodriguez. Change up just outside. And it's full 3-2, so back-to-back full counts from Francisco Rodriguez. He's had 2 previous full counts in this game. He walked Herrera on a full count in the first and walked Sardina in the previous plate appearance here in the second. See what happens here. Collins setting up outside. 3-2 on the way. Down low with a fastball, and that is ball 4. So now they're loaded up for the number 9 hitter, Chris Fry, and that's going to draw a visit from the pitching coach, Eric Bennett. So Neil Wilson goes to third, Duke Sardina goes to second, and Anthony Granado is aboard at first. Now, one of the advantages to having this head cold that I've got is made my voice a lot deeper. It's coming back a little bit today, but yesterday it was really deep and bassy, and all the girls up here on the suite level, as we're here on the third level of the epicenter, were saying, "Oh wow, your voice sounds so deep and so masculine," and I'm like, "Wait, it didn't before?" They were having some fun at my expense. Here's Chris Fry in from the left side, and Rodriguez misses inside with a curveball. It's 1-0. Chris Fry, not bad numbers for a number 9 hitter. .338 average, 1 home run, and 13 runs batted in. Right-hander against left-hander. Rodriguez still from the stretch. 1-0, fastball down and in, 2 balls and no strikes. And he's behind in the count to Fry with nowhere to put him. Base is loaded, only 1 out here in the top of the second for Modesto. No score as of yet, but that could change in a hurry. .2-0 from Rodriguez. Elevated this fastball, but missed high in the zone, and that's 3 balls and no strikes. Outfield around towards right, looking for Fry to pull. There's a strike on the outside corner. And it's 3-1 now. Now the 3-1 in the air, popped him up. Shallow right field, Sutton going out, Fuller coming in. It'll be the second baseman, Nate Sutton, who makes the catch. And nobody can advance. So a nice job there by Francisco Rodriguez. After falling behind in the count 3-0 to Chris Fry, comes back to get him on a pop-up. And that holds the runners at bay. Not out of the woods yet. Still got to deal with Corey Wimberly here. But Rodriguez in much better position now. Wimberly, a switch hitter in from the left side. And the fastball from Rodriguez on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Francisco Rodriguez has made his first turn through the Modesto order. No runs, only 1 hit, but 3 walks and 2 strikeouts so far. Corners playing in on the grass. Fastball in and hits Corey Wimberly. That's going to force in a run. 90-mile-an-hour fastball right into the lower back of Corey Wimberly as he jogs very gingerly down to first base, but Corey Wimberly can rest a little bit easier knowing that he picked up his 9th RBI of the year. Gets hit by the pitch with the bases loaded. Neil Wilson comes in to score. Duke Sardina goes to third. Anthony Granado goes to second. And here's Jonathan Herrera, another switch hitter. And the curveball swung on and missed. It's 0-1. So Modesto leading at 1-0 here in the top of the second. Base is still loaded with 2 out for Herrera, who walked in the first but never made it off of first base. 0-1 from Rodriguez. Back to the curveball, missed high and away. And it's even. I had a ball and a strike. Jonathan Herrera from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Repeating the year here in Modesto after spending last season with the Nuts as well. 1-1, fastball inside, almost hit Herrera. But he got out of the way, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Outfield, relatively shallow and around towards left. Herrera was out a lot of power. There's a fastball on the outside corner. It's even at 2-2. Herrera this year hitting .262, no home runs in 84 at-bats, and only 5 RBIs in those 84 ABs. Collins with an outside target, 2-2 taken the other way, line drive into left field, and that will drop in front of Drew Toussaint. This will score at least 1 run, and the second run comes in to score as well. Sardina and Granado both in to score. Now they make a throw to third, and safe there is Corey Wimberly. It's a 2-run single for Jonathan Herrera. Modesto goes up 3-0. As Corey Wimberly goes to third on the play. That was a tough play for Drew Toussaint out there in left field. It was hit right at him. If it's hit off to the side, I think Toussaint maybe is able to make a play on it. But with a ball hit right at you, what you have to be aware of is that if you dive for it and you miss it, it's going all the way to the wall. It's not like that ball was hit into the gap where Toussaint knew that Josh LeBlanc would be backing him up. He did not have that luxury. So, I think if it had been hit on a little bit of an angle, Toussaint maybe would have read it a little bit better, could have made a diving attempt. But, in the second inning, you give up 2 runs, and maybe the run that you don't give up by holding Wimberly at third base turns out to be a big one later on. We'll see. Here's a ground ball off the bat of Matt Miller, right to Rodriguez at short. He'll flip to Nate Sutton at second for the force out on Jonathan Herrera. For that one, 6-4, and that does it for the Nuts here in the top of the second. But Modesto picks up 3 runs on only 2 hits. They were helped by a couple of walks by Francisco Rodriguez, and he also hit a batter with the bases loaded. So 3 runs, 2 hits, no Quakes errors, and runners left on the corners. To the bottom of the second we go. Modesto with the early lead. It's the Nuts 3 and the Quakes nothing.
One of the most common types of pollution from businesses is contaminated water runoff, which carries oil, grease, or other chemicals that drip or spill onto the ground into the street. This water continues through our communities untreated until it reaches the Santa Ana River and eventually the ocean. Contaminated runoff from your business is a violation of local laws for which you could pay a fine. So please, sweep outside areas and put the debris in the trash. Never hose them down or sweep into the curb or storm drain. Make sure dumpsters have lids to reduce blow-away litter, and call your trash hauler to replace your dumpster if it leaks. Empty mop water and other dirty water into a mop sink or floor drain. Do not illegally dump the water outside. Use non-toxic cleaning products whenever possible. Dispose of all toxics such as pesticides and cleaning products through a hazardous waste hauler. These items are too toxic to trash. And obtain spill containment and cleanup kits for your business. For more information about stormwater pollution prevention, please call 800-CLEANUP or the City of Rancho Cucamonga at 909-477-2740 extension 4060.
In baseball, it's good to have a player that can do it all. The same is true in business. If you're searching for business telephone systems, voice data cabling, and network services, Accent Computer Solutions Incorporated is the player who can do it all for you. Accent Computer Solutions has been providing state-of-the-art technology to businesses since 1987. They even offer 24-hour service. So call 481-4368 and put Team Accent to work for you. You can also log on to teamaccent.com.
Accent Computer Solutions Incorporated. We can handle it.
Cucamonga and Cliff Remley will lead things off to the Quakes. They'll be followed by Matt Pauley and then Nate Sutton, 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Against the right-hander, Samuel Deduno. Quakes down 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. As Remo digs in from the left side. Batting .301 on the year, 1 home run, and 11 runs batted in. Fastball up high from Deduno. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield around towards left, looking for Remley to go the other way. Pulls this one into right field, hit it hard. Brooks going back on it, looking up. This is going to have to be played off the wall. Extra bases for Cliff Remley. He'll get to second with a leadoff stand-up double. And the Quakes in business here in the bottom of the second. Remley turned on that one and drove it right over the head of Doc Brooks out there in right field. For Remo, his 5th double of the year. And just as Modesto got a leadoff double in the top of this second inning, so do the Quakes get one here in the bottom half of the frame. So Remley in scoring position for Matt Pauley. We talked about Matty a little bit earlier with those 16 RBIs, second on the club. First offering from Deduno, fastball down and away, and it's 1-0. Matt Pauley in the lineup for the 25th time this year. That's tied with Drew Toussaint for the team lead in games played. 1-0, check swing, ball down in the dirt, bouncing away from Neil Wilson and taking third. On a pass ball is Cliff Remley. So it's 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Pauley. And we'll see how Modesto wants to play the infield on this one. Infielders are going to back up with the exception of Anthony Granato there at third base, as he plays even with the bag at third. The rest of the infield is back, so the Mets will concede a run on a ground ball. Missing high and outside with a changeup. 3 balls and no strikes on Matt Pauley. And Matt Pauley being in the lineup every single day, nothing new to him. This is a guy who played 135 games with the Quakes last season. 3-0, fastball outside, and that's ball 4. So Pauley walks on 4 pitches, runners on the corners now. And nobody out for the second baseman, Nate Sutton. This is just the second time all season that Nate Sutton has hit 7th in the lineup. He's usually down in the number 9 spot. But wherever you put him, he's going to be able to handle the bat. A .317 average for Nate. No home runs and 4 runs batted in. Granato comes in on the grass at third. Middle infielders back at double play depth. And Deduno down low with a fastball. It's 1-0. Quakes down 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. But Sutton, the potential tying run at the plate. Outfield around towards left. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Deduno home from the stretch. Well, chopper foul off the first base line, and it's even at a ball and a strike. Nate Sutton played his college baseball at UC Santa Barbara. Was a 24th round pick in 2004 by the Angels. One from Deduno. Curveball in at the knees. And he gets ahead in the count on Nate Sutton, 1-2. Sutton hitting .370 over his last 9 games, 10 for his last 27. Did make a debut in the top 10 in the league in batting average during that series up in Lancaster. Has slipped a little bit since then. Modesto's Matt Miller is 10th in the league right now at .327, and Nate Sutton 10 points back of him at .317. Here's the 1-2 on the way. Curveball swung on and missed, and that is strike 3, but a ball in the dirt. And going to second on the play is Matt Pauley, so it'll be a strikeout for Nate Sutton. The second strikeout for Samuel Deduno, but a wild pitch moves Matt Pauley up to second base. So 2 runners in scoring position for the Quakes with only 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And we'll see what Drew Toussaint can do. Toussaint fully capable of tying this game with 1 swing of the bat. He stands in for the right side, hitting .221, 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. First pitch, fastball up high, and it's 1-0. Toussaint, the native of Compton, California,
13th round pick out of Southern University back in 2004. 1-0, fastball on the inside corner. That evens it up at 1-1. Cliff Remley at third, Matt Pauley at second. Chance for the Quakes to take some momentum back after Modesto picked up 3 runs in the top half of this second inning. 1-1, tap foul back to the backstop. And it is 1-2. Fans want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by the Outback Steakhouse of Ontario, located at 4492 Ontario Mills Parkway, just across from the Ontario Mills Mall. Outback Steakhouse of Ontario is the home of the world-famous Bloomin' Onion. At Outback, it's no rules, just right. Here's the 1-2 now to Dussault. Change up down in the dirt. A good job by the catcher, Neil Wilson, to smother it. And it's even at 2-2. Drew Toussaint had a huge year for Cedar Rapids last season. Batted .261 for the Colonels, 21 home runs, and 68 runs batted in. Two, check swing. Did he go? They'll appeal to first. No, he held up. Nice job by Toussaint to check his swing on that changeup. And it's full now, 3-2, as Josh LeBlanc waits on deck. Outfield around towards right. Looking for Toussaint to go the other way. And the 3-2. Fastball down and away, and that's ball 4. So Toussaint, after being down in the count with a couple of strikes on him, draws a walk from Samuel Deduno, and that loads him up for Josh LeBlanc as the pitching coach, Butch Hughes, will go out for a visit. Fans want to remind you that the Quakes come back home to start a 9-game homestand next Tuesday. May the 9th, we'll open up a 3-game set with the Visalia Oaks. First time we've seen Visalia this year. Then High Desert is in over the weekend. And San Jose rounds it out Monday through Wednesday, the 15th through the 17th. And that's going to be a really good litmus test for the Quakes, because the San Jose Giants, at least here in the early going, are really the class of the league. San Jose 17-8 this season. So it'll be good to see how the Quakes measure up against the best in the Northern Division. So come on out and join us next week, a 9-game homestand starting next Tuesday. Here's LeBlanc in from the left side, and a fastball at the knees from Samuel Deduno. It's 0-1. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Base is loaded, 1 out here in the bottom of the second, and the Quakes down 3-0. Remley at third, Pauley at second, Toussaint aboard at first. 0-1 from Deduno. Another fastball, another strike. It's 0-2, and LeBlanc hasn't taken the bat off of his shoulders yet. JB hitting 198. No home runs, 10 RBIs. Started out very hot and then has gotten very cold. 0-2. Curveball swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. So Deduno started him off with a pair of 92-mile-an-hour fastballs, and then goes to the changeup at 80 miles an hour and gets LeBlanc on 3 pitches. Third strikeout for Samuel Deduno. And now back to the leadoff man, Cody Fuller. Deduno's made his first turn through the order. No runs, a hit, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. See what Cody Fuller can do. Chance to get the Quakes on the board if he can come through with 2 outs. Right-hander against right-hander. And Fuller takes a curveball inside for ball 1. Cody Fuller hitting .375 this year with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And this one a laser, but caught by the shortstop, Jonathan Herrera, a sinking line drive. But Herrera going to his right makes a kind of half-diving catch. Ended up on his knees, but makes the play. Fuller ripped that one, but a better play by Herrera. And Samuel Deduno wiggles his way out of it here in the bottom of the second. Gave up a leadoff double, then a couple of walks, and the Quakes leave them loaded here in the second. No runs on a hit, no Modesto errors, and 3 runners are left. We go to the third. Modesto still holding on to a 3-0 lead.
Hey folks, Rob Sinclair here to tell you about the good people at Nationwide Surveys and what they can do for your business. They can handle customer surveys, employee feedback, and even online and on-site data collection. That's Nationwide Surveys, reliable feedback, fast. Call them today at 1-800-252-0640 or visit them at nationwidesurveys.com. That's 800-252-0640 or online at nationwidesurveys.com.
The 2006 Rancho Cucamonga Quakes aren't always playing baseball at the Epicenter. During their downtime, you can catch them playing the official gaming console of the 2006 Quakes, Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is the most powerful video game and entertainment system out there, delivering the best games, the next generation of premier Xbox Live online gaming services, and unique digital entertainment experiences that revolve around you. Xbox 360, available now at your local retailer. Jump in at www.xbox.com for more information.
Do you have a home improvement project you'd like done? Then bring in the pros at Handyman Unlimited. They're your one-stop household maintenance and repair service. They offer a way for you to economically maintain and enhance the life of your home without investing your leisure time. They specialize in patio covers, fences, gates, decks, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, and more. Handyman Unlimited does it all. See them on the web at handymanunlimited.com.
Handyman Unlimited, taking care of your repair needs the first time, on time.
Top of the third, and Justin Nelson leading off for Modesto goes after the first pitch and lines it into right field. Well, dropped in front of Cody Fuller on one hop, and the leadoff man aboard for the second straight inning for the Modesto Nuts here in the third. So Nelson aboard. Now here's the right fielder, Doc Brooks. Middle third of the order due up for the Nuts here in the third, with Nelson, Brooks, and then Neil Wilson to face the right-hander Francisco Rodriguez. Nuts got to Frankie for 3 runs in the second. And they have a 3-0 lead. Here's Brooks, who doubled to lead off that second inning. Fastball inside. It's 1-0. Modesto sent 8 men to the plate there in the second. Got 3 runs and only had 2 hits. Took advantage of a couple of walks and a hit batter by Francisco Rodriguez. 1-0 to Brooks. Brooks curveball on the outside corner. And it's even at 1-1. Doc Brooks' given name is Cedric. 5'10", 190-pound native of Phoenix City, Alabama. It's in the Washington Nationals organization. We were talking earlier about Sean Rodriguez's brother, Robert Rodriguez, who is a catcher for the Washington Nationals. So, know that Robert Rodriguez and Doc Brooks have crossed paths a time or two before. Right-hander against right-hander, down and in off the glove of the catcher, Michael Collins, but he gets to it quickly and holds Nelson at first base. The count is 2-1. And Collins out to talk with Francisco Rodriguez to get on the same page. Doc Brooks hitting .220 this year. 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Quakes set up to see if they can't turn 2 behind Francisco Rodriguez. Toss over to first, and Nelson is back. Justin Nelson kind of picks his spots, 4 out of 5 in stolen base attempts this year. Rodriguez from the stretch. Here's the 2-1 line drive into right field. It'll drop down in front of Cody Fuller. The Cab designs to come in and try to make the catch and then changed his mind at the last minute, put on the brakes, and it was a nice job by Fuller after changing his mind to keep that ball in front of him. You know, it's the same kind of play that we saw Drew Toussaint make back in the second, although in the second, Toussaint had the decision from the beginning to let that ball drop and not take a risk. Fuller looked like he was going to try to come in and make the catch, and then saw that the angle was not going to work. And a lot of times you'll see that happen where the ball will skip past the outfielder and go all the way to the wall. So good job by Fuller to keep that ball in front of him. But all the same, Nelson goes to second, and now on the first pitch, Neil Wilson drives one off the wall in left field. Coming around third, Justin Nelson is going to score, and it's a double for Neil Wilson. They almost got him at second base, but Wilson somehow was able to avoid the tag of the second baseman, Nate Sutton. That was very close, as Toussaint's throw out there in left field came right to the second base bag. And Nate Sutton, trying to make a sweep tag on Neil Wilson, just missed. So Neil Wilson with an RBI double to make it a 4-0 Modesto lead. As Justin Nelson comes in to score, and Doc Brooks goes to third. And the pitching coach, Eric Bennett, out for a talk with Francisco Rodriguez for the second time tonight. Already action in the Quakes bullpen. The right-hander, Dan Hawkins, is getting warmed up. Here's Duke Sardina. Runners at second and third for Modesto here in the top of the third. And Rodriguez misses inside with a curveball with Sardina. It's 1-0. Quakes are going to bring the infield in against Sardina, who walked and scored back in the second. And gamble that Rodriguez can get something on the ground from Sardina. Here's a ground ball, but it's foul outside of third base. Well, out against the top of the tarp and roll down towards the Quakes bullpen on the left field side. And it's even at 1-1. We have reached the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We'll need to take a station break whenever this at-bat is finished. Duke Sardina, the native of Kailua, Hawaii. 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. Spent last season down in Asheville. 1-1 from Rodriguez. Popped him up. Shallow right field. This will actually carry out pretty well. Tagging from third is Doc Brooks. Fuller makes the throw. And the throw is a little bit late. Doc Brooks comes in to slide home safely, as Sardina picks up an RBI on a sacrifice fly to right. And it's now a 5-0 lead for Modesto. So Doc Brooks scores. Neil Wilson stays at second base. And for Duke Sardina, that's RBI number 14. Wind not blowing overly hard out here in Rancho Cucamonga, but did certainly help carry that ball into medium deep right field. As Anthony Granado is in for the second time, takes the fastball a little bit low, and it's 1-0. So Modesto with 3 in the second, and now 2 thus far here in the top of the third. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Modesto Nuts. No runs on 1 hit for the Quakes. Here's a line drive into right field, but playable for Cody Fuller. He'll come in, make the catch, and fires a dart back to the infield as Wilson holds at second. So Granado hit the ball hard the opposite way, but lines out to right. 2 gone now, and here's the number 9 hitter, Chris Fry. drive, popped up. Back in the second with the bases loaded. Got it into shallow right field, but Nate Sutton was able to make the catch. So Fry 0 for 1. Hitting .338 on the year with a home run and 13 RBIs. Outfield around towards right, looking for him to pull. And the first pitch, fastball downstairs for ball 1. Wilson still the runner at second. And an RBI double for the first run here in the third inning. 1-0 in the air, left field, hit pretty well, but playable for Toussaint. Back on him, he'll make the catch. And that does it for the Nuts here in the top of the third. But Modesto picks up 2 more runs on 3 more hits. Nelson singled to lead it off. Doc Brooks followed with a single. Neil Wilson, an RBI double, and then Duke Sardina with a sacrifice fly. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. To the bottom of the third we go. Modesto pulling away here on top of the Quakes, 5-0.
You're listening to Rob Sinclair and Quakes Baseball on AM 1370 KWRM Corona.
There you are, working diligently on your computer when all of a sudden there's nothing. All that time and work gone. Yes, computer failure. Most of us have experienced it before. Luckily, the pros at PC Fix are here to help. We know computer problems can hurt the efficiency of your business or frustrate you at home. That's why we take great pride in saving data. We offer prompt certified service at a low flat rate. From repairs and upgrades to internet security, find us in your yellow pages. PC Fix. Don't worry, we can save your data. We fix what they can't.
It's baseball season, and that means warmer weather, sports fans. Making it awfully hot, muggy, and just plain unbearable in the months to come. Eskimo Air Conditioning is the company you can depend on to keep you cool and comfortable. From commercial projects to servicing your home's air conditioner, they provide quality, courtesy, and professionalism in every job they do. Find out more by calling 909-920-3700 or log on to www.eskimoair.com.
When things heat up, think Eskimo Air.
Friends and family visiting you this summer? Don't worry. Add a room instantly by calling your friends at the Red Roof Inn. Red Roof Inns offer quality rooms, friendly service, great rates, and kids stay free. Plus, as a Ready Card Preferred member, you'll earn points towards free room nights. With 360 Red Roof Inns nationwide, you'll find locations everywhere, including Ontario, San Dimas, and Victorville. Visit us today at redroof.com or dial 800-RED-ROOF.
Bottom of the third, and the Quakes down 5-0. So get the 2, 3, and 4 hitters back to the order as they begin their second turn against Samuel Deduno, the right-hander for Modesto. Freddy Sandoval, Sean Rodriguez, and Michael Collins due up for Rancho Cucamonga here in the bottom of the third. And as Deduno with a 5-0 lead can go out there and pump strikes. Fastball misses inside here to Sandoval, however, and it's 1-0. And Sandy was showing bunt and pulled it back. Freddy Sandoval walked and stole a base back in the first inning, but was left stranded at third. Fouls this one back against the screen, and it's 1-1. Quakes had Sandoval to second base with 1 out in the second. Couldn't bring him in. Had the bases loaded with 1 out in the second inning, and couldn't score. Fastball inside from Deduno, 2 balls and a strike. So, now if you were with us for the Quakes on Deck show, you heard Bobby Mitchell, the manager, talk about one of those ball games up in Lancaster where Fernando Rodriguez was throwing the ball pretty well, and Quakes only had a 2-1 lead. There's a fastball strike. It's 2-2. When Bobby thought they could have had a 5 or 6 run lead, and next thing you know, Lancaster got 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th and broke the game open. There's a swing and a miss, and that is strike 3 as Deduno gets Freddy Sandoval on a changeup. 4th strikeout for Samuel Deduno. And he has struck out 3 of the last 5 hitters he's faced. And the leadoff man gone here in the bottom of the third. Well, that's what Bobby Mitchell was talking about in the pregame interview. Talk about being more consistent and taking advantage of the opportunities. Downstairs from Deduno. And a ball and no strikes on Sean Rodriguez. And already Quakes have left 4 men on base, 3 of them in scoring position in the first 2 innings. And, if they take advantage of those opportunities, it's not a 5-run deficit right now. There's a strike to Rodriguez. It's 1-1. And we'll see how Deduno works as this game progresses. Fastball inside, 2-1. It's the second time we've seen Deduno, and honestly, folks, having only seen him once before, you can't really get a good feel for a guy, but Deduno might be the kind of pitcher that if you're going to get to him, you need to get to him early. Because once he gets settled in, it's just going to be a long night. There's a slider swung on and missed by Rodriguez. And it's even at 2-2. Quakes took on Samuel Deduno back on Sunday, April 23rd. Change up high, and it's full. That's the game that the Quakes eventually won in 13 innings. Baltazar Lopez had the game-winning single, and Collins scored all the way from first in that ball game. Ended a 4-hour and 20-minute marathon, a game that was just 1 minute shorter than the longest game in franchise history. Bouncing ball foul, and we'll do it again. But Deduno worked into the 6th inning in that one. And actually, the first time we faced him, he was into trouble a little bit in the first few innings, got out of it, and then the Quakes got 3 runs against him in his final inning and 2/3 of work. Another ground ball foul outside of third, and still 3 balls and 2 strikes on Sean Rodriguez. Well, maybe my prediction was wrong. Maybe the longer Samuel Deduno stays out there, the more apt he is to get tired and start making some mistakes, and maybe the Quakes can get to him later. But at the same time, then you're putting yourself in a hole because you're maybe not working on this 5-run deficit until the middle of the ball game. Curveball inside to Rodriguez, and that is ball 4. That's already the 4th walk given up by Samuel Deduno. None of the 3 guys he's walked previously have come in to score. See if the Quakes can change that here in the 3rd. And here's the catcher, Michael Collins. Quakes down 5-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Modesto with 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. And Michael Collins 0 for 1, grounded out to end the 1st. Right-hander against right-hander. Deduno from the stretch. And the first offering, a fastball right at the knees. And it's 0-1. Michael Collins batting .326. 3 home runs, 23 RBIs. He has been fantastic offensively for the Quakes this year. Toss over to first, close play. Oh, and just safely back onto the bag is Sean Rodriguez. A nice pickoff move by Samuel Deduno, and almost got Rodriguez being a little bit greedy with his lead there. And Rodriguez doesn't really have an overly big lead over there at first. That's just a credit to Deduno's pickoff move. Now another toss to first, and this time Rodriguez is back in without a tag. Sean Rodriguez, 5 out of 8 in stolen base attempts this year. Quakes as a team have stolen 22 bases, but they've also been caught 19 times. Barely over a 50% success rate, which makes it borderline not worth doing. 0-1, swung on, and the changeup fouled back to the backstop. It's 0-2 on Collins. Now, it's kind of like talking about a three-point shooter in basketball. If you're only making 1 out of every 3 three-point attempts, it's kind of not worth the gamble. You're better off trying to get something inside the arc. When you're stealing bases, hits are hard enough to come by a game of baseball in the first place. If you're only successful 50% of the time when you're trying to steal, it gets to the point where it's almost not worth it. 0-2. Ground ball, shot foul right next to the Quakes dugout there on the first base side. And the gargantuan bat boy that is Steven Johnson will carry his size 16 feet out to pick that one up. Size 16 feet, and he's 16 years old. Watch out, world. Started shopping in the big and tall section during kindergarten. But a nice kid, Stephen Johnson. He and his little sister Taylor, the daughters of our general manager, Nort Johnson, and our director of food services, Anita Johnson. It's a family affair out here for the Johnsons at the ballpark. 0-2. Foul down the first base side into the seats. And there will be a little bit of a scramble for a ball. 2 started, now 2 more join in. And it's size and experience over youth, but now the youngster will come away with the ball as the veteran gave it away. That's a good move. That'll get you a round of applause at the ballpark when you give the foul ball to the little kid. 1 on, 1 out. Rodriguez moving with the pitch. And a curveball swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. And Michael Collins was absolutely befuddled on that pitch. So strikeout number 5 for Samuel Deduno. I mean, Michael Collins decided to swing the bat when that ball was literally probably 15 feet away from home plate. Was just not set up for that one at all. He strikes out swinging. Rodriguez does pick up his 6th steal of the year, as Wilson did not make a throw down to second. So Rodriguez in scoring position. See if Cliff Remley can come through. First pitch swinging and a ground ball right to Corey Wimberly at second base. He'll throw out Remley, score 4-3, and that does it for the Quakes here in the bottom of the 3rd. For Rancho Cucamonga, no runs, no hits, no errors. And Sean Rodriguez stranded in scoring position. Quakes have left 5 on base, and 4 have been in scoring position here in the first 3 innings. As we go to the 4th, that's a big reason why the Modesto Nuts are on top 5-0.
You wouldn't want your favorite sports team to only play offense or only play defense. So when it comes to insurance, why settle for someone that can handle only your auto policy? Bring your home and auto insurance to Allstate now, and you can save big on both. You deserve someone that can assist you more. That's Allstate stand. Are you in good hands? Hey, sports fans, call Allstate agent William Knight at 909-987-6403 today. Subject to availability and qualifications, Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Teams prefer a home field advantage. The same can be said in healthcare. Rancho Mobility Medical Equipment and Supplies features a complete line of home health equipment and supplies so that you can thrive anywhere. They feature sales and rentals of wheelchairs, power chairs, walkers, scooters, bath products, ramps, stair lifts, pediatric equipment, and more. Most insurance is accepted, so call 888-853-3565 today. Log on to ranchomobility.com or visit them between Milken and Haven on Arrow.
0-1, the count on Corey Wimberly as we're underway here in the top of the 4th. Wimberly, the switch hitter in from the left side, looks at a curveball down low. And it's even up at 1-1. Wimberly, Herrera, and Miller 1, 2, and 3 here in the top of the 4th. Modesto leading Francisco Rodriguez and the Quakes 5-0. Fastball came in inside on Wimberly, got out of the way. It's 2-1. Wimberly 0 for 1, rounded out in the first, then was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to pick up his 9th RBI of the year in the second. 2-1, chopper to his counterpart at second base. Nate Sutton picks, throws, got him. Routine for Nate Sutton, score at 4-3. And for the first time since the first inning, Francisco Rodriguez retires the leadoff man. Fans want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by Romano's Macaroni Grill of Rancho Cucamonga. located at 10742 Foothill Boulevard. Choose from more than 35 Italian specialties. Romano's Macaroni Grill, all the Italian you need to know. There's Jonathan Herrera looking at a strike. Now the 0-1 in the air. Short center field coming down on Josh LeBlanc. Still coming in, and he makes the catch on the run. Nicely done by Josh LeBlanc. Got an excellent read on that ball off the bat and a very good jump as well. He came racing in to short right center field to make the catch on Herrera. So quickly 2 gone here in the top of the 4th. Quakes still trailing 5-0, but Frankie Rodriguez may be settling down a little bit. He's retired 5 in a row after giving up 3 straight hits to open things back in the 3rd. And the first pitch fastball to Matt Miller is down low for ball 1. Miller 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, then bounced into a fielder's choice to end the second. Right-hander against right-hander. Upstairs there, looked like that fooled Collins a little bit. 2 balls and no strikes. Final game of a 3-game series. Quakes lost the first game back on Tuesday, then came back to win last night 6-4. Ground ball foul outside the line on third base, and it's 2-1. Quakes got skunked back on Tuesday night at the Epicenter. 8-0. The final. It's the 3rd time in a week that the Quakes have been shut out, and came back with that 6-4 come-from-behind victory last night. 2-1. Fastball on the outside corner. And it's even up 2-2 now on Matt Miller. Miller, native of LaGrange, Texas, 6'2", 210 pounds. Just a good-looking ball play. 2-2, down and in. And it's gone full 3-2. Justin Nelson, the cleanup man, waiting on deck. 3-2 from Rodriguez. Line drive right back into center field. And a sharp 2-out single for Matt Miller. That's hit number 6 for Modesto. So Miller aboard with 2 away, and that will indeed extend the inning for Justin Nelson, who led off the 3rd inning with a base hit to right and came around to score later in the frame. So Nelson 1 for 2 with a run scored. Outfield will play him straight away as Rodriguez works from the stretch. Francisco home with a fastball. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Justin Nelson, a .296 hitter on the year, a couple of home runs and 13 RBIs. 0-1, a changeup outside, and it's even at a ball and a strike. This one, curveball taken in the air to center field, deep, a playable, and Josh LeBlanc will haul it in over his shoulder. Out there in straightaway center field, Justin Nelson hit it a ton, but just got underneath. A curveball from Francisco Rodriguez, and Josh LeBlanc with another nice running catch to end things here in the 4th. Made one nice running catch coming in, and makes this one on the way out. Modesto in the 4th, no runs to hit, no errors, 1 left. To the bottom of the 4th we go. It's the Nuts 5 and the Quakes nothing.
You know, the goal of baseball is to get home quickly. The last thing you want to see is some player lollygagging around third when there's going to be a close play at the plate. Well, Farmer John feels the same way about ham, bacon, sausage, and hot dogs. You know, all Farmer John products are made fresh right here in the Southland. That way, they get to your home as quickly as possible, and it's a short slide into the plate. That's your plate at home. no home plate. Get fresh. Get Farmer John. Galliano Winery, located at 1431 Wineville Road in Mariloma, California. In business since 1927, the Galliano family's roots run deep in Cucamonga Valley's winemaking history, offering a unique array of 25 varieties, including award-winning wines as well as custom labels. The Galliano tradition continues to grow in the Inland Empire. Try the latest award-winning wines in a relaxed country atmosphere of the tasting room. Enjoy a tour of our landmark complex or relax in the beautiful picnic grounds. To reach Galliano Winery, call 909-685-5376. That's 909-685-5376. Or stop by Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
That's the right-hander Samuel Deduno. Fastball on the outside corner from Sam Deduno, and it's 0-1. Paulie, Sutton, and then Drew Toussaint, 6, 7, and 8 for Rancho Cucamonga as the Quakes are down 5-0 here. Change up outside from Deduno, and it's 1-1. Paulie, the big left-handed hitter from Houston, Texas, 6'1", 215. Built like a linebacker and plays this game like it. Fastball on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. We were talking during Paulie's first at-bat back in the second when he drew a walk that was appearing in his team high 25th game tonight. There's a curveball on the outside corner pulled to the second baseman Corey Wimberly. And an easy play for Wimberly on the run. Score that one 4-3. Paulie lost his approach right there. Curveball on the outside, and he tried to pull it instead of going with the ball. And what happens when you do that? You roll that ball right over, and it was an easy play for Wimberly. But I remember talking to Matt Paulie. It's probably a couple of weeks ago. As Nate Sutton looks at a fastball outside, and it's 1-0. And I was talking to Paulie for an interview that we were doing for Play Ball Magazine, which is the magazine that gets distributed to all the fans during every game. Fastball outside, on the outside corner is 1-1. And I was talking to Paulie, and I was talking about his approach to the game. This one is outside, it's 2-1. And he said, the way that I was brought up, he said, I just, felt that it was important to be in the lineup every single day. Foul the way down the left field side, and it's 2-2 now. And he said, there are times when I'm hurting and when I'm beat up, but, I want to be the guy that's looked to and can be depended on and counted on to take my spot in the lineup every single day. There's a fastball swung on and missed by Nate Sutton. And that is strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for Samuel Deduno. And the second time he has gotten Nate Sutton. So quickly, 2 gone here at the bottom of the fourth. Quakes down 5-0. And the base is empty for Drew Toussaint. Toussaint in from the right side. Walked in the second. And Deduno opens up the slider on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Now field around towards right on Toussaint, who's slumping a little bit right now. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. Toussaint with just 4 hits in his last 32 ABs. That's a 125 average over the course of his last 9 ball games. 0-2, fastball upstairs, the ball with 2 strikes. Haven't had a chance to sit down with Drew Toussaint and do a play ball interview yet, but I'm looking forward to doing it because I think he would probably have similar answers to what Matt Paulie gave. Change up outside. Deduno wanted that call, didn't get it, and it's 2-2. Now Toussaint and Paulie, both very quiet, laid-back guys, but they go out there and they just do their jobs. The fly ball, shallow center field. Matt Miller will come in, make the catch, and Toussaint is retired. And that does it for the Quakes here in the bottom of the fourth. So a 1-2-3 inning turned in by Samuel Deduno. That's the first 1-2-3 inning for either pitcher here tonight. Quakes go quietly in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. To the fifth we go. Modesto on top of the Quakes, 5-0.
Great moments in Laughlin history. Jeff from Barstow tries out his new camera phone.
Hey, Jeff sending pictures from Laughlin.
Looks like you rented a jet ski.
Cool. Now he's floating by a pontoon boat.
Are there girls on there?
Yeah, those are girls.
Are they hot?
Yeah, and they're really tan. I think he's in a casino now.
Are the girls with him?
They're blowing on his dice. Nice, he won.
Good. He owes me money.
They're in a nightclub now.
Whoa.
Knee-deep in females.
That never happens when we're with them.
Hello?
Hey, man, you guys should come down here. Hey, baby.
Jeff says hello.
Uh-huh.
I hate Jeff.
Laughlin, Nevada. Founded on fun.
I don't want to know what that is.
For information, call 1-800-4-LAUGHLIN or go to visitlaughlin.com.
After a big game, the cleanup job that the bleachers need can seem overwhelming. If you're faced with the same sort of dilemma after a day at the office, contact SCS Services. They specialize in industrial and commercial cleaning, and yes, they even do windows, inside and out. For free estimates, call SCS Services in your Yellow Pages, or give them a call at 987-9968. That's 987-9968.
SCS Services. Better service, lower pricing.
Cucamonga. Quakes down 5-0. And Francisco Rodriguez has settled down a little bit. Has retired 6 of the last 7 batters he has faced. Here in the 5th, he'll get the 5, 6, and 7 trio for Modesto. Doc Brooks, Neil Wilson, and then Duke Zardina. As Brooks stands in for the right side. A couple of hits so far tonight, and a fastball down and in from Francisco Rodriguez. It's 1-0. Brooks doubled in the second, then singled and scored in the third, so he's halfway to the cycle. Right-hander against right-hander, 1-0 out of the windup. A changeup swung on and missed. And it's even at 1-1. We were talking earlier about being in on the strategy session between Eric Bennett, the pitching coach, Francisco Rodriguez, and the catcher, Michael Collins. And I was talking with Collins after that as he was getting ready to catch Rodriguez in the bullpen. Check swing. And they appeal to first, and they say Brooks went around. It's 1-2. And I just absolutely loved it. Being able to sit down there as Eric Bennett went through the starting lineups and said, okay, Corey Wimberly, always be aware of the bunt, throw cutters to Corey Wimberly. And Doc Brooks likes to go after the first pitch. He'll start him off with something soft. There's a 1-2, bouncing ball left side, cut off by Sean Rodriguez. Throw from the hole is not in time, but that'll be an infield hit for Doc Brooks. That was just barely out of the reach of the third baseman, Freddy Sandoval. Ideally, Sandoval would be able to make that play because his momentum is carrying him towards first base. But it was just out of his reach. Sean Rodriguez did a nice job to get to that ball, keep it on the infield. And had he gotten him, that would have been, a major league caliber play. Well, just not quite enough on the throw, but certainly no fault there to Sean Rodriguez. As Francisco Rodriguez will have to deal with the runner on first. First offer and look out into the seats off the bat of Neil Wilson. And everybody's okay, I believe. The count is 0-1. That was a little half swing by Neil Wilson, and he did just enough to redirect it into the seats about 3 or 4 rows above the Modesto dugout there on the first base side as one of the ushers is down to check on everybody, and I believe everybody is okay. The changeup misses outside, and it's 1-1 now on Neil Wilson. And everybody is okay. That's the good news. I think now people are just looking for the baseball, trying to find out where it went, but everybody's okay. That's the biggest thing. Right-hander against right-hander. Next rod from the stretch. Two-seamer down low. 2 balls and a strike. Neil Wilson, like Doc Brooks, has been aboard twice. Wilson reached on a fielder's choice in the second and scored a run. And then picked up an RBI double in the third. 2-1. Brooks on the move, and a hit and run perfectly executed into right field. Stopping at second, however, is Doc Brooks, and Cliff Remley immediately said that ball hit Doc Brooks. It looked like Brooks was able to jump over it. It was hit right into his path as the hole opened up there on the right side. Nate Sutton, the second baseman, having to go to the second base bag to receive the throw. Vacated the hole, and Neil Wilson punched it right through. So a hit and run single, but Brooks gets only to second base. Back-to-back singles for Modesto open things here in the 5th, and that'll get Dan Hawkins up and throwing once again in the Quakes bullpen. Hawkins was throwing back in the second when Francisco Rodriguez faced 8 batters. As Modesto scored 3 runs there in the second, but Frankie settled down after that. And Hawkins sat back down. First offering to Duke Sardina, line drive into left field, but that's caught by Drew Toussaint as he ranged over towards left center. Sardina hit that ball hard, but lines out. Runners stay put at first and second, and that's out number 1 here in the 5th. Now the third baseman, Anthony Granado. Granado 0 for 1, walked and scored in the second, then stung a ball out to right field. When Cody Fuller made the catch in the third on a line. It's mauled down and away. And it's a ball and no strike. Anthony Granado appearing in his first game of the year for Modesto. Began this year in extended spring training. Native of Burlingame, California. 1-0 in the air, center field. Hit pretty well. Back on it, Josh LeBlanc still going back. Right center field. Drops the ball on the warning track and slams into the wall, and LeBlanc is down. Doc Brooks motoring around third. He's going to try to score. Throw gets cut off. It's a double for Anthony Granado, but of more pressing concern is the fact that Josh LeBlanc is still down in a heap out there on the warning track in right center. An RBI double for Anthony Granado, but nobody cares about that. We're all concerned about Josh LeBlanc, who had the ball in his glove, and then dropped it, and with his very next step, slammed face first into the wall out there in right center field. And LeBlanc was going full speed. LeBlanc was shaded around towards left center. Had to get on his horse, went over into right center, and just hit that at 100 miles an hour. Tell you what, fans, let's go ahead and step aside. We'll take a 90-second break here. We'll let Brian Wenker, the Quakes trainer, attend to Josh LeBlanc out there on the warning track, and we'll go ahead and step aside for 90 seconds. We'll be back and hopefully have an update on the condition of Josh LeBlanc for you when we return. Quakes down 6-0. You're listening to the Quakes Radio Network.
It's baseball season, and that means warmer weather, sports fans, making it awfully hot, muggy, and just plain unbearable in the months to come. Eskimo Air Conditioning is the company you can depend on to keep you cool and comfortable. From commercial projects to servicing your home's air conditioner, they provide quality, courtesy, and professionalism in every job they do. Find out more by calling 909-920-3700 or log on to www.eskimoair.com.
When things heat up, think Eskimo Air.
We at KWRM 1370 know that you have a choice when it comes to sports radio, and we also know that you're in the right place. By airing the local games that matter most to you, KWRM is your Orange County and Inland Empire sports leader. Whether it's professional baseball, college basketball, or high school football, no one delivers the best in exciting local play-by-play like KWRM. Check out our new website at KWRM1370am.com. That's KWRM1370am.com, and thanks for being a part of our all-star lineup.
This is James Rousel, hitting coach of the Quakes for the Ontario Airport Marriott. If you're looking for a great place to eat, the Ontario Airport Marriott features the D Street Sports Bar and Grill, open daily from 11:30 to 1:30. The Pacific Grill for the fine diner, or stop by the 24-hour Pacific Deli. The Ontario Airport Marriott is located at 2200 East Hope Boulevard, right off the 10 freeway. The Ontario Airport Marriott, a proud sponsor of your 2005 Quakes on the Radio.
Back here in Rancho Cucamonga, where Josh LeBlanc is still down on the ground just now, finally getting to his feet out there in right center field. The other outfielders, Drew Toussaint and Cody Fuller, are both out there with him, as is the Quakes trainer, Brian Wenker, and the manager, Bobby Mitchell. And the good news is that Josh LeBlanc is back up to his feet. He is walking. I assume he would walk off the field under his own power. I can't imagine that they would let Josh LeBlanc stay in the game, as Brian Ranker does have a hand on his arm to help steady him. But LeBlanc shaken up, but thankfully able to get up after a few tense minutes out there on a heap in right center field. And LeBlanc will exit this game. But with all four outfielders in the lineup, what we assume would happen would be that Cody Fuller would move from right to center. We see Ben Johnson coming out of the Quakes dugout, because the Quakes could either, I think they're going to move Ben Johnson into right, and they'll shift Cody Fuller into center. So I was thinking they could move Matt Pauley from the DH spot to right field and then open up the DH spot for somebody, but that's going to be Ben Johnson who comes in to play right field as he'll toss, and Josh LeBlanc will get a nice round of applause from the fans here. So a scary moment for Josh LeBlanc, but he walks off the field under his own power. Brian Ranker will take him right back into the clubhouse and take a look at him. And Francisco Rodriguez will make a few warm-up tosses to get loose. And actually, we had a pitching change during all that I didn't even catch. Was focused on Josh LeBlanc out there in right center field, but during the break in the action, we had a pitching change, so Dan Hawkins is into the game. So, get you all set up here. Outfield alignment looks like this now. Toussaint remains in left for the Quakes. Cody Fuller moves over to center field, and Ben Johnson will take over in right field. New pitcher into the game is Dan Hawkins. And this is the situation that Hawkins comes into. Quakes are down 6-0 here in the top of the fifth. Anthony Granado just picked up his first hit and first RBI this season with an RBI double to score Doc Brooks. So Wilson went to third on the play. Granado is at second. They are both the responsibility of Francisco Rodriguez. Now the first man that Hawkins will face is the DH Chris Fry. Fry is in from the left side. Hawkins misses low with a curveball, and the count is a ball and no strikes. So again, 6-0 the score in favor of the Nuts here in the fifth. Quakes have the infield drawn in. Hawkins working immediately from the stretch. And a line drive right to the third baseman, Freddy Sandoval. He'll step on third, double off Neil Wilson. And that does it for Modesto here in the fifth. That's exactly what Dan Hawkins needed to keep this a 6-run ball game. It's not all that close right now, but hey, if that ball gets past Freddy Sandoval, now you're looking at an 8-run deficit as opposed to a 6-run deficit. So we're thankful for that at least. So a line drive to third. Sandoval makes the catch, then doubles off Neil Wilson for the double play. But Modesto does get another run here in the fifth. 1 run on 3 hits. Anthony Granado had the RBI double. No Quakes errors. 1 runner left. We're halfway through. Go to the bottom of the fifth with the Quakes trailing 6-0.
Dog waste left on a lawn or sidewalk is disgusting, especially when left on your lawn. But it doesn't end there. It becomes a public health risk. When it washes away with the rain or a hose off any lawn or street surface and drains directly into the Santa Ana River, carrying harmful bacteria. As a dog owner, you can set a good example by picking up after your pet every time. Your actions will influence your family and your neighbors. Please take the following steps to care for your canine and help protect your neighborhood and public health. Clean up after your dog every time. When you grab the leash, grab a bag and have it with you. Take advantage of the complimentary bags offered in dispensers at local parks and use them to dispose of your pet's waste. Make sure you always have extra bags in your car so you are prepared when you travel with your dog. Carry extra bags when walking your dog and make them available to other pet owners who are without. Teach kids how to properly clean up after a pet. Encourage them to throw used bags into the nearest trash receptacle if they are away from home or on a walk. For more pollution prevention tips, please call the City of Rancho Cucamonga at 909-477-2740, extension 4060. 909-477-2740, extension 4060.
Thinking of buying a home or refinancing? At Response Home Mortgage, we know what it takes to meet all of your home loan needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're refinancing, our creative loan consultants offer the best terms and unsurpassed professional service. We ensure you get the loan that best fits your needs. Again, fans, we're Response Home Mortgage. Find us in your Yellow Pages or online at responsehomemortgage.com.
Response Home Mortgage, a proud sponsor of Quakes Baseball.
It's the bottom of the fifth here in Rancho Cucamonga, and Ben Johnson will lead it off for the Quakes as he replaces the injured Josh LeBlanc. So Johnson has started them back to the top of the order with Cody Fuller and Freddy Sandoval, 9-1-2 in the Quakes order. And Johnson, the switch hitter, will stand in from the left side against the right-hander Samuel Deduno. Quakes down 6-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. And Deduno's first offering to BJ. There's a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Ben Johnson batting .203 this year, 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. 0-1. Fastball strike, and it's 0-2. Johnson in a slump as of late, 4 hits in his last 21 at-bats. 0-2, fastball inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Outfield shaded way around towards left on Johnson. They look for him to go the other way. 1-2 from Deduno. Looks like a curveball on the inside corner. And that's a called strike 3. That looked like an 11-5 curveball from Samuel Deduno. If you imagine the hands on a clock going from 11 o'clock down to 5. So not only moving vertically, but also moving horizontally a little bit as well. That ball started out high and away, ended up on the inside corner to Ben Johnson, down around his knees. So strikeout number 7 for Samuel Deduno. And here's the leadoff man, Cody Fuller. Right-hander against right-hander, Deduno from the line. Fastball ripped on one hop past the shortstop, Jonathan Herrera. That'll bounce through into left field. A sharp single for Cody Fuller. He has his first hit of the night. That's only hit number 2 for the Quakes in this ball game. But they get a base runner. Who else would you expect to get it from? Cody Fuller, the league leader in batting average. Fuller came in hitting .387. He's now 1 for 3 tonight. And here's Freddy Sandoval. Sandy has walked and struck out. Change up high and away from Deduno. It's a ball and no strikes. Fans want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by Round Table Pizza of Rancho Cucamonga. Bring in your Quakes tickets up to get a large one-topping pizza for just $10.99 plus tax. Visit them at 7201 Archibald Avenue or give them a call, 980-8040 for delivery. Reach that and roll to the second base of Corey Wimbley. The second for 1 on to first in time. A double play as Freddy Sandoval grounds into the twin killing. That pitch was outside. Sandoval tried to pull it, and that just won't work. You got to go with those pitches on the outside. Of course, it's a lot easier to save from up here in the booth, but Sandoval just rolled that one over right to the second baseman, Corey Wimbley. Cody Fuller forced out on the play. So despite the one-out single by Cody Fuller, Samuel Deduno still faces the minimum here in the third as the Quakes go in, faces the minimum 3 here in the fifth as the Quakes go in order. No runs a hit, no errors, none left. We're through 5. Modesto on top, 6-0.
A few years ago, a small bank from Rancho Cucamonga started sending shockwaves through the banking industry. Vineyard Bank rode through Southern California with a creative force that is changing the way we bank. We created small ripples at first, with innovative ways to move money quickly and effectively, where it would help businesses and families the most. Then our reputation grew stronger thanks to personal bankers with a can-do attitude committed to building lasting relationships. Vineyard Bank's financial performance was off the scale. A fast-growing bank with a rising stock. New, customer-friendly branches offering easy access to your money, opening throughout the Southland. Online banking on our award-winning website at www.vineyardbank.com. That's Vineyard Bank, proud to be your hometown bank, proud to support our hometown team. For more information, please call 1-800-442-4996. That's 1-800-442-4996.
The 2006 Rancho Cucamonga Quakes aren't always playing baseball at the Epicenter. During their downtime, you can catch them playing the official gaming console of the 2006 Quakes, Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is the most powerful video game and entertainment system out there, delivering the best games, the next generation of premier Xbox Live online gaming services, and unique digital entertainment experiences that revolve around you. Xbox 360, available now at your local retailer. Jump in at www.xbox.com for more information.
Back here in Rancho Cucamonga, top of the sixth inning, Quakes down 6-0. And the top of the order due up for Modesto in the form of Corey Wimberly, Jonathan Herrera, and Matt Miller. 1, 2, and 3 as the right-hander Dan Hawkins will begin his first full inning of work. Fans, my name is Rob Sinclair, coming to you live from here at the Epicenter. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Thursday evening with us. Along with my partner in crime, Mark Fiore, the producer and director, doing his usual great job. First offering, Wimberly showed bunt, pulled it back as a called strike, 0-1. Fans, you know me, you know I love to quote Jay-Z. Hey, you guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and I appreciate that. In on the hands of Corey Wimberly. Taps a foul up the first base side. 0-2 the count. Let's tell you about Dan Hawkins. Right-hander from St. Petersburg, Florida. 6'3", 205 pounds. Signed as a free agent last year out of St. Leo University. Was assigned to Orem down in the Pioneer League and promptly won 6 games for the Owls. Helped lead them to the Pioneer League title. Corey Wimberly has been aboard once in 3 trips tonight. Hit by pitch with the bases loaded back in the second. Slaps at this one and yanks a foul up the first base side. Still 0-2. Dan Hawkins with a record of 0-1 in 5 previous appearances, has an ERA of 12. That's inflated because of one just really awful outing. Downstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. That was that 10-inning loss where the Quakes gave up 7 runs in the 10th, lost that game 11-4. That was the one they were up 4-3 in the 9th. You remember that. That was against Lake Elsinore. This one in the air, center field, racing in. Cody Fuller diving. And does he have it? No, he doesn't. Fuller tried to sell that one and could not get to it. And now Cody Fuller is limping as he gets up. Fuller made a dive, and he's walking kind of gingerly out there back to center field, kind of trying to flex out that right leg. So it's a single for Corey Wimberly, his first hit. So we'll keep an eye on Cody Fuller and see how he looks the rest of the night. Leadoff man aboard against Hawkins. Toss over to first as Wimberly gets back. Hawkins has worked a total of 6 innings this year for the Quakes. Got called up on April 22nd when Rafael Rodriguez moved up to Double-A Arkansas. Another toss over to first, and again Wimberly's back. Corey Wimberly, the league leader in stolen bases. He's 14 out of 19. Fastball outside to Jonathan Herrera, and it's 1-0. Wimberly 4 ahead in the stolen base race of Emilio Montefacio. A very quick second baseman from Lancaster that we've already seen a few times in Southern Division play. Toss over to first. And again, Corey Wimberly is back. Behind scores look like this. Modesto 6 runs, 10 hits. Quakes no runs, 2 hits. Neither team has committed an error. 1-0, fastball outside, 2 balls, no strike. Again, fans want to thank our good friend Dan Hubbard for filling in yesterday. I'm still battling a little bit of a cold. Wimberly faked like he was going to second on that play. Stayed put. Hawkins hits the outside corner to make it 2-1. Well, it was pretty funny. I was joking with Dan Hubbard after the game last night and asked him how everything went. And, Dan, he's been doing this 18 years, so he said, hey, there's no problems at all. 2-1 down low, and it's 3 balls in a strike. And I was doing official scoring, and top of the first inning, we weren't even a batter into the game, and my mom called me on my cell phone, and she said, hey, are you okay? I heard somebody else doing the game, and he said you weren't feeling very good. And I said, yeah, I'm feeling okay. There's Wimberly going on the plate, throw down to second is way high from Michael Collins, and stealing second base is Corey Wimberly. It's his 15th of the year. Wimberly now 15 for 20 in stolen base attempts. Count goes full on Jonathan Herrera. And Wimberly in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the sixth. Three-2 from Dan Hawkins. Fastball down low, and that's ball 4. And Michael Collins will go out and talk to Hawkins. So a single, a stolen base, and now a walk. And runners at first and second with nobody out here in the sixth, in a game that the Nuts already lead 6-0. Yeah, my mom called me and just wanted to double check that I was okay, and said, yeah, just really sore throat, and knew I wouldn't sound very good. And I said, now how does Dan sound? How's he doing? And she was just effusive in her praise of him. I said he was doing everything right. And I said, well, I better get healthy in a hurry there, because she's going to end up liking him more than she likes me. Fastball on the inside corner there to Matt Miller, and it's 0-1. Now I'm not going to let Dan Hubbard Wally Pitt me and get me out of there for good. 0-1 popped him up. Miller skies this one on the infield. Infield fly rule is in effect. Nate Sutton will put it away all the same. And that's the first out here in the sixth. And I don't want to be too esoteric, but Wally Pitt was the guy that Lou Gehrig replaced in the New York Yankees lineup. And so when Lou Gehrig went on that string of over 2,100 consecutive games played, it was all because Wally Pitt got hurt. That put Lou Gehrig in the lineup, and they never took him out. So, when you're talking about Wally Pitting a guy, that means you get a shot. You get a shot, and the old guy never gets his job back. Here's Justin Nelson in for the left side, going after the first pitch. Pops this one foul into the seat on the third base side. Bounces right to a fan who just turned around and played it on the bounce, and it's 0-1. Fans, want to say hi to somebody else who's in the seats tonight. A guy by the name of Jesse Last, and he was an intern for us this year. Was supposed to be an intern for the entire season, but had a better opportunity come along. This one is up high, and it's 1-1. Because Jesse Last got himself a Truman Scholarship, which I hadn't heard of before, but apparently there are only, 10 given away every year. This one in the air, center field. Coming in out of Cody Fuller, puts on the brakes, makes the catch. And sticking at first and second are Herrera and Wimberly, respectively. 2 away here in the sixth. Quakes down 6-0 as Doc Brooks comes to the plate. But Jesse Last got that Truman Scholarship. So he's going to be sent to Liberty, Missouri for some training exercises. I don't pretend to know what he's going to do with that Truman Scholarship. All I know is that at some point 15 to 20 years from now, you're going to hear the name Jesse Last as basically, saving America. And you're going to say, you know what, Rob Sinclair was talking about him one night back in May. Fastball down low, it's 1-0 on Brooks. And I'll tell you what, Jesse Last is a guy that sometimes you just weep for the future of America. You just see kids doing stupid things, and then you see Jesse, and you're like, wow, there's hope. 1-0 to Brooks. Foul up the third base side. And it's even at 1-1. But I just want to say hi to Jesse Last. He's going to Honduras for the summer after he gets back from Missouri, and then going to graduate school and going to go work in the government. And we're going to be glad he's around, folks. So good luck to Jesse Last, one of our interns who is leaving us, but we understand, man. So best of luck to him. Right-hander against right-hander here with Doc Brooks working on a 3-hit night at the plate. 1-1 from Hawkins, bouncing ball to the shortstop. Sean Rodriguez, underhand slip to Nate Sutton. They'll force out Jonathan Herrera, and that does it here in the 6th. Fielder's choice. Herrera out on the play 6-4, and after putting the first 2 men on board, Dan Hawkins comes through and gets the next 3 hitters to retire the side. So Modesto turned away empty-handed here in the 6th. No balls, no runs on a hit. No Quakes errors, and runners left at first and second. We're through 5.5. Modesto still blank in Rancho, however. It's the Nuts 6 and the Quakes nothing.
A pitcher's best friend is the double play. It gets them out of a jam. When your vehicle's transmission is in a jam, here's a double play combination for you. Carl's Transmission Exchange and the Transmission Man. Carl's is the oldest transmission shop in Rancho Cucamonga, keeping you on the go for over 25 years.
Find Carl's in Rancho Cucamonga on 8th Street between Archibald and Hermosa, and visit the Transmission Man in San Bernardino on Baseline between Del Rosa and Sterling.
Businesses and job applicants are looking for the same thing, a good match. At York Employment Services, we provide the most qualified job applicants to business leaders throughout the area. Our consultants will match the best candidates to the best companies, saving both time and money. Visit us across the street from the Ontario Mills Mall, 2 doors down from Starbucks, or log on to yorkemployment.com. York Employment Services, providing state-of-the-art services with old-fashioned values.
Whether it's a collision at home plate or on the road, we know that accidents happen. If you've been in an accident and need auto body repair, visit the pros at Rocky's Auto Body. They feature expert collision repair, including state-of-the-art frame straightening and precise color matching. They work with all insurance companies and can even set you up with tow service and a rental car. Visit Rocky's Auto Body right next to the Quakes Ballpark on Rochester, or find out more online at Rocky'sAutoBody.com. Rocky's Auto Body. There's only one way, the right way.
You are listening to Rob Sinclair and Quakes Baseball on AM 1370 KWRM Corona.
Bottom of the 6th, heart of the order due up for Rancho Cucamonga. Against the right-hander Samuel Deduno, who's still out there for the Nuts. Sean Rodriguez, Michael Collins, and Cliff Remley, 3, 4, and 5. As Rodriguez opens the slow roller foul up the first base line. And the count 0-1. Fans want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by Esther Tacos in Upland. Serving authentic Mexican food 7 days a week, Esther's features tacos, burritos, quesadillas, and fajitas. Give them a call at 946-8111 for catering information, or swing by their location in the Red Hill Shopping Center on the corner of Grove and Foothill and enter to win free Quakes tickets. That's Esther Tacos. 0-1 to Sean Rodriguez. Line drive right back into center field. And a clean knock for Rodriguez to open things here in the bottom half of the 6th. The Quakes get the leadoff man aboard for just the second time tonight. See if they can actually take advantage here in the 6th. They got to get rolling, folks. Down 6-0. And being out hit 10-3. See if they can pick up a few runs here and then try to get the rest of the margin back against the Modesto bullpen. Here's Michael Collins. In from the right side. First pitch swinging. Drilled out to center field. That's going to be playable for Matt Miller. He'll back up and put it away. Drifting just to the right of straightaway center field. Collins retired. So he went after the first pitch. Michael Collins now 0 for 3. And that's 1 out here in the 6th. So 1 on, 1 out. Here's Remley, who has doubled and grounded to second tonight. Remo came in just above the 300 mark, a 301 average for Cliff. 1 home run and 11 runs batted in. The native of Powder Springs, Georgia, stands in from the left side. Deduno, the right-hander, out of the stretch. First offering a changeup downstairs. And it's a ball with no strike. Daley played his college baseball at Georgia Tech. Outfield shades him around towards left. 1-0, ground ball right back to Samuel Deduno. Sounded like a broken bat to second for one. Herrera jumps over Rodriguez and gets Remley at first. Wow, what a play by Jonathan Herrera, the Modesto shortstop. He handled the throw by Deduno, jumped over Rodriguez, and then on the way down, still had enough on the throw. I mean, it's like shooting a basketball. When you take a jump shot, you're shooting on the way up when you've got the momentum. You don't shoot on the way down. And same thing applies here. Herrera, instead of throwing when he was going up, got over the top of Rodriguez, waited until he came back down, and then threw out Cliff Remley. Heck of a play by Jonathan Herrera. And for the second straight inning, a double play ends the inning for the Quakes. 1-6-3 to scoring here as it goes to Deduno, to Herrera, to Sardina. 1-6-3, and so much for that leadoff single by Sean Rodriguez. 6 shutout innings for Samuel Deduno. Quakes in the 6th, no runs, a hit, no errors, and none left. Go to the 7th with Rancho Cucamonga trailing 6-0.
When you're looking for a contractor, you want to work with a professional. Around here, the place to call is Summit Construction. They're the residential and commercial contractor where quality construction is guaranteed. They specialize in all areas of residential construction. They build top quality homes, do room additions, and even can build you a custom swimming pool or spa. With 25 years of experience, they do it all. For a free quote, call 909-821-2840 or see them online at summitpools.net. Summit Construction, where quality is guaranteed.
Friends and family visiting you this summer? Don't worry. Add a room instantly by calling your friends at the Red Roof Inn. Red Roof Inns offer quality rooms, friendly service, great rates, and kids stay free. Plus, as a Ready Card preferred member, you'll earn points towards free room nights. With 360 Red Roof Inns nationwide, you'll find locations everywhere, including Ontario, San Dimas, and Victorville. Visit us today at redroof.com or dial 800-RED-ROOF.
You wouldn't want your favorite sports team to only play offense or only play defense. So when it comes to insurance, why settle for someone that can handle only your auto policy? Bring your home and auto insurance to Allstate now, and you can save big on both. You deserve someone that can assist you more. That's Allstate stand. Are you in good hands? Hey, sports fans, call Allstate agent William Knight at 909-987-6403 today. Subject to availability and qualifications, Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Actually, at the epicenter in the top of the 7th, Neil Wilson has opened the inning with a single to the left on the second pitch he got from Dan Hawkins. So Neil Wilson just got aboard on a leadoff knock. And here's the first baseman, Duke Sardina, who has hit the ball hard a couple of times, but has only a sacrifice fly to show for it. Also walked and scored a run. Fastball down and in from Dan Hawkins, and it's the ball and no strikes. Again, fans, tomorrow Quakes hit the road, open up a 3-game series in Bakersfield, as they will visit the Blaze for the first time. This one in the air, right field, coming in, Ben Johnson. He's not going to get there. A little soft single to right field. Duke Sardina has his first hit, and for the second straight inning, runners at first and second with nobody out against Dan Hawkins. Hawk was able to get out of it in the 6th. See if he can do it again here in the 7th. Quakes down 6-0. So 3 games over the weekend in Bakersfield. Friday and Saturday night will be tape delayed. Sunday will join in progress at 2 o'clock. Then the Quakes are off on Monday and open up a 9-game homestand on Tuesday. Fastball at the knees to Anthony Granado, and it's 0-1. And again, folks, I will not be with you when we go to Bakersfield. Got to go home and take care of some things on the family side down low there. That's a ball and a strike. So you're going to have the dulcet tones of one Jason Anaforia, who will reprise his role as the voice of the Quakes, which he held for the last 2 seasons. Change up from Hawkins there, in for a strike. It's 1-2. So Jason graciously agreed to meet the club in Bakersfield and handle all three games on the broadcast side. So we thank him. There's a line drive into right field, a base hit for Anthony Granato. He's got 2 hits, and that will load the bases. 3 straight singles for Modesto to open things here in the 7th, and Dan Hawkins is in some trouble as Eric Bennett, the pitching coach, will go out and try and settle him down. Fans, want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by Bobby Bajas in Rancho Cucamonga, offering the very best tri-tip California barbecue and Baja street food in the Inland Empire. Bobby Bajas cater to your family just like they cater to us. Up here in the press box, Bobby Bajas on the corner of Foothill and Vineyard in Rancho Cucamonga. Or give them a call at 989-9925. That's Bobby Bajas. I'll tell you what, Bobby Bajas is the kind of place you could go for like a 3-hour lunch, you know? Like on a Friday, just kind of sneak out about 2 o'clock and not go back. Have a couple of Coronas. Maybe a margarita. Oh, man, it's a good time. I've heard it's a good time. Ground ball to short. Rodriguez to second for 1. Sutton's relay is in time as they double up Chris Fry. A run does score, however, for Modesto as Neil Wilson comes in to make it a 7-0 game. Well, the Quakes turn 2. That's the first twin-killing turn by Rancho Cucamonga tonight. 6-4-3 is the scoring as it goes Rodriguez to Sutton to Remily. So Fry retired. Anthony Granato forced at second on the play as Neil Wilson comes in to score. And Duke Sardina goes to third. So runner at third with 2 outs. And Corey Wimberly looks at a fastball inside for ball 1. Wimberly, the leadoff man, got his first hit of the night, his last time up in the 6th. Hawkins low with that one. 2 balls and no strikes now. Fastball inside. Almost hit Wimberly, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. You know, fans of the last inning, I was saying hello to Jesse Last, one of our interns. I would be remiss if I did not say hello to another one of our interns, as Hawkins just balked in a run. Hawkins started his move to the plate, stopped it, and here comes Duke Sardina to score to make it 8-0. Pretty easy call for the home plate umpire, as Hawkins, it looked like he just kind of lost his balance, and rather than falling flat on his face, stopped his move to the plate and balks in a run. Now fastball inside, and Wimberly draws a walk. But folks, like I was saying, I'd be remiss if I did not mention another one of our interns, a young man by the name of Tim Aguilar, who works up here in the press box for most of the mornings with me before he goes down and handles things in the gift shop for the Quakes. And Tim's a great guy. Herrera takes the fastball down low. It's 1-0. Hooked me up with a lot of movies for the road trips, which he gets legally. I might add, in case anybody from the FCC is listening. Everything's legal and paid for. Nothing underhanded about the movies that Tim gets for me. There's a strike to Herrera. It's 1-1. But tell you what, it gives me those movies and makes the road trips go by a lot faster. So I want to thank Tim Aguilar for that and give him a shout out as he's working down in the press box and down in the souvenir store. Excuse me. So 1-2, the count on Jonathan Herrera. Quakes down 8-0 here in the top of the 7th. Trying to avoid being shut out for the second time in this series. 1-2, inside out swing, rolled to the third baseman, Freddy Sandoval. They'll go to second base and just barely got Corey Wimberly, who has excellent speed, but Wimberly is out on the fielder's choice. 5-4 the scoring as Nate Sutton comes over to cover, and that does it for Modesto. But in the 7th, the Nuns pick up 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 run scored on the double play, then Duke Sardina came in to score on the box. So 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 1 left. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Fans, you know what time it is. Get on up and stretch them out. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Quakes down 8-0.
Galliano Winery, located at 1431 Wineville Road in Mariloma, California. In business since 1927, the Galliano family's roots run deep in Cucamonga Valley's winemaking history. Offering a unique array of 25 varieties, including award-winning wines as well as custom label, the Galliano tradition continues to grow in the Inland Empire. Try the latest award-winning wines in a relaxed country atmosphere of the tasting room. Enjoy a tour of our landmark complex or relax in the beautiful picnic grounds. To reach Galliano Winery, call 909-685-5376. That's 909-685-5376. Or stop by Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Teamwork. It's important on the field and off. When it comes to engineering services, more people are teaming up with Bonaldo Engineering. They feature a full spectrum of structural, consulting, engineering, and design build services. Whether it's commercial, industrial, or residential, go with a winning team, Bonaldo Engineering. For information or a consultation, call 944-9992 or stop by their office at 9480 Utica Avenue, Suite 607. Bonaldo Engineering, a proud sponsor of Quakes Baseball.
It's the bottom of the seventh here in Rancho Cucamonga. And the Quakes are down 8-0. As the fans do the cha-cha slide as part of the seventh inning stretch, as is customary here at the Epicenter. Fans, if you haven't been out here yet this year, what's going on? Come on. You got the cha-cha slide. You got dollar beers on Thursday. You got a competitive baseball team. A team that's been in first place for most of this season. Come on, get out here. Starting next Tuesday, a 9-game homestand. No excuses, folks. Get out here and enjoy it with us as Matt Pauley goes fishing on a changeup. Comes up empty. And the count 0-1. Samuel Deduno still out there for Modesto. Now working in his seventh inning. That's a called strike on Pauley. It's 0-2. Matt Pauley, Nate Sutton, and Drew Toussaint, 6, 7, and 8. Due up for the Quakes. 0-2. Inside and got a piece of Matt Pauley. So Pauley hit by the pitch. He'll reach for the second time tonight after he drew a walk in the second. And leadoff man aboard for the Quakes. And that brings Nate Sutton to the plate. Leadoff man aboard for Nate. He's hitless tonight. Struck out in both the second and the fourth. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Fastball low from Deduno. And it's 1-0. Outfield around towards left on Nate Sutton. Good bat to have down in the bottom third of the order. Kind of a stabilizing force. A guy that teams cannot work around. Checks his swing. Samuel Deduno wanting to appeal on that one. And home plate umpire isn't going to bother with it. As Neil Wilson, the catcher, goes out to talk to Deduno. Fans, what do you say we take a look at some big league scores? Start in the National League. And, hey, what do you know? First score that I happen to see, the Milwaukee Brewers defeating San Francisco 7-4. So Brewers and the Giants split that two-game series. Barry Bonds does not homer. Still stuck on 7-12. Strike to Sutton, and it's 2-1. Tell you who did homer in that game today. Jeff Jenkins, a two-run shot. Carlos Lee had a homer and 4 RBIs for the Brewers. High chopper, right side of the infield. Deduno will glove that and just kind of shot put it over to the first baseman, Duke Sardina. Sutton grounds out 1-3. Matt Pauley goes to second. And that's 1 out. That was an ugly throw by Samuel Deduno. I'm not going to lie, folks. Fielded that high chopper kind of like up around his shoulders. And then instead of actually, when he got the ball out of his glove, instead of actually cocking his arm back and flicking his wrist and tossing it overhanded to Duke Sardina, just kind of pushed with his shoulder, just kind of kept his forearm straight, and just kind of pushed and got the ball over that way. It's kind of weird to see Deduno do that, but hey, got the out. So who are we to complain? Down and away here to Toussaint, and it's 1-0. Mike Matheny, a former Brewer, got the only home run of the game for San Francisco. The Brewers win that one 7-4 in Miller Park today. 1-0 to Drew Toussaint. Up high, 2 balls, no strikes. In that game, Doug Davis goes 6 shutout innings to get the win for the Brewers. I don't know if Brewers fans are just easy to please, but we sure liked it. I know my colleague up here, Jeff from the Daily Bulletin, wanted more out of Doug Davis. Would a perfect game be better for you, for your fantasy team? Would you enjoy that? 6 Ks? Okay. Hey, 3 Ks, 3 walks, only 4 hits. Not a bad afternoon's work for Doug Davis. We'll take it. Strike to Stonk. Now the 2-1 to Drew. Line foul. Look out into the third base side seats. The ushers will go over there quickly, make sure everybody's all right, and I believe they are. The count's even at 2-2. Florida defeated Washington 11-3. Josh Willingham with his 6th home run of the year for the Fish in that one. The curveball called, strike 3 on the inside corner. Drew Toussaint goes down looking, and there are 2 away. 8th strikeout now for Samuel Deduno. That ties the season high that he had against Lake Elsinore back on April 13th, and that's going to be it for Samuel Deduno. Chad Kruger jogging out. Deduno has reached his pitch count, and he will exit with an 8-0 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Quakes are happy to see him go. Fans, we'll go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds. When we come back, we'll tell you all about the new Modesto pitcher and see if the Quakes can bring Matt Pauley in from second base. He's there with 2 outs. Quakes are down 8-0. You're listening to the Quakes Radio Network.
Great moments in Laughlin history. Jeff from Barstow tries out his new camera phone.
Hey, Jeff sending pictures from Laughlin.
Looks like you rented a jet ski.
Cool. Nice floating by a pontoon boat.
Are there girls on there?
Yeah, those are girls.
Are they hot?
Yeah, and they're really tan. I think he's in a casino now.
Are the girls with him?
They're blowing on his dice. Nice, he won.
Good. He owes me money.
They're in a nightclub now.
Whoa.
Knee-deep in females.
That never happens when we're with them.
Hello?
Hey, man, you guys shooting some down here. Hey, baby.
Jeff says hello.
Uh-huh.
I hate Jeff.
Laughlin, Nevada. Founded on fun.
I don't want to know what that is.
For information, call 1-800-4-LAUGHLIN or go to visitlaughlin.com.
Single-A ball players work hard because they want to make the big leagues. When it comes to hardwood flooring, you want to work with a company that's already made the big leagues. You want to work with Professional Hardwood Floors. With 20 years of experience, Professional Hardwood Floors can expertly handle all your hardwood floor sanding, installation, restoration, and repairs. So, go with the pros. Look for Professional Hardwood Floors in your Verizon Yellow Pages underfloors.
So the new right-hander for Modesto is Matt Daley, who comes on in relief here in the bottom of the 7th. Quakes are down 8-0. And this is a situation Daley comes into, inherits 1 runner. That's Matt Pauley out there at second base. He's the responsibility of Samuel Deduno. And the first man Daley will face is the switch hitter, Ben Johnson. Johnson was scheduled to get the night off here, but came on in the 5th when Josh LeBlanc had to leave the game after smacking hard into the right center field wall. First offering to Johnson, fouled away down the left field side, and the count is 0-1. The vitals on Matt Daley, a right-hander from Garden City, New York. 6'2", 175 pounds. Spent last season with the Asheville Tourists down in the South Atlantic League. Works immediately from the stretch, 0-1. Like a changeup downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Daley on the season. A record of 2-1. And a 2.87 earned run average. That's in 8 previous relief appearances. 1-1, bouncing ball. As they'll get to the second baseman, Corey Wimberly. Routine play for him. He'll throw out Ben Johnson. Score 4-3, and down go the Quakes in the bottom of the 7th. Got the leadoff man aboard. On Matt Pauley stranded at second base. And the Quakes retired in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left in scoring position. To the 8th we go. Modesto in control of this one. They're on top 8-0.
It's your first game. You got your glove?
Yeah.
Good boy. All right, bright blue sky, beautiful green grass. You know, there's nothing better than baseball in the summer.
I guess.
Hey, where's that peanut guy?
Dad, we're in the living room.
Hooked on a clear picture? Get hooked on Charter HD TV with a picture 5 times sharper than regular TV, plus theater quality sound. You watch television like never before. Get local channels in high definition with no equipment buy. Go where satellite can't. Call 1-888-GET-CHARTER and get hooked. Service not available in all areas. Prices may vary.
This is Rob Sinclair, the voice of the Quakes for the Ontario Airport Marriott. If you're looking for a great place to eat, the Ontario Airport Marriott features the D Street Sports Bar and Grill, open daily from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 a.m., Pacific Grill for the fine diner, or stop by the 24-hour Pacific Deli. The Ontario Airport Marriott is located at 2200 East Holt Boulevard, just off the 10 freeway. The Ontario Airport Marriott, a proud sponsor of your 2006 Quakes on the radio.
Pioneer Radio and Sports would like to thank the following businesses who are committed to customer service.
This Quakes broadcast is brought to you in part by Mystic Koi and Water Gardens. You can rely on Mystic. By Best Price Concrete Work, for the best price and always the best quality. By Professional Hardwood Floors, since 1977. By Handyman Unlimited, your repair needs the first time, on time. And by Prado Olympic Shooting Park. Bearing arms is your right. Safety is your responsibility.
Top of the 8th and a new pitcher to the game for the Quakes. It's the left-hander Mike Peete. Quakes trail 8-0. Fastball down low, and the count 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Miller. Peete will work to the heart of the order here in the 8th for Modesto. Miller, Nelson, and Brooks 3, 4, and 5. Ground ball sharply up the middle and through into center field. Matt Miller with his second hit. His second single to center. In fact, as Modesto has now picked up a hit in every inning except the first. We've had a base runner in every inning as well against the Quakes. And leadoff man reaches the 4th straight inning. And for the 6th time overall, so 6 times in 8 innings, Modesto has gotten the leadoff man on. Not surprising why they're on top 8-0. First offering to Justin Nelson, driven into center field, but Cody Fuller has a beat on him. He'll put it away. Nelson retired, and back to first goes Matt Miller. The Quakes down 8-0 here in the 8th. Let's tell you about Mike Peete, lefty from Brandon, Florida, 5'11", 175 pounds. Peete played his college ball for the Florida Gators, signed as a free agent after the June draft in 2005, and was another member, like the man who preceded him, Dan Hawkins, of that Pioneer League championship club with the Orem Owls. Peete went 2-1 with an ERA of .99 for the Owls last year. It's a strike to Doc Brooks, and it's 0-1. This year it's been another string of impressive outings for Mike Peete, who doesn't blow you away by any means. This one is down low for a ball, 1-1. But just finds a way to get guys out, and tell you what, if you're left-handed and you can get guys out, you're going to carve out a role for yourself somewhere in this game. 1-1 down low, and it's 2 balls and a strike. I mean, why do you think Jesse Orozco pitched until he was 45? And yeah, he had talent, but at the end of the day, you know, those last few years of his career, outside there, 3-1, you know, he was throwing the ball 84 miles an hour, but he knew how to get guys out. And, you know, that's why he kept coming back, and teams kept finding roles for him. If you're, you know, at the big league level especially, I mean, there's the old saying, if you're left-handed and have a pulse, you're going to have a shot at a job. Here's a line drive into the left center field gap. This is going to be extra bases for Doc Brooks. Coming around third is Matt Miller. He is going to score without a throw. It's a stand-up double for Doc Brooks. His second double of the game, his 4th hit overall. And Modesto now on top 9-0. For Brooks, his 4th double of the year, RBI number 11 for him. As Miller scores all the way from first. And now Brooks in scoring position for Neil Wilson, the catcher. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Wilson rolls this one over to the hole at short. Sean Rodriguez backhands, throws to first, skips in, and a nice play made by Cliff Remily to handle it over there at first base. Good job by Rodriguez to get to it. And a good job by Remily to handle the low throw. Score that one 6-3. And there are 2 outs. And there's Duke Sardina. He's had a hit his last time up. First pitch swing and drives this to the gap in right center field. This is going to bounce up against the base of the wall. Extra bases for Sardina. He's got an RBI double. In comes Doc Brooks. And Modesto taking all the suspense out of this one. They're on top 10-0 now. Second RBI of the night for Duke Sardina. As Doc Brooks scores for the 3rd time. There's Granado, the 3rd baseman, making his nuts debut tonight. Pete opens with a curveball strike. It's 0-1, and pretty good debut for Granado. Walked and scored in the 2nd, hit the ball hard, and lined out in the 3rd, then had an RBI double in the 5th, and singled in the 7th. 0-1. Fastball swung on and missed. 0-2. Mike Pete this year, 1-1, an ERA of 3.00. And that's in 9 previous relief outings. Given up 4 earned runs in 12 innings. Here's the 0-2. Way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Talked about Pete not being overpowering. 6 strikeouts in 12 innings, 5 walks. Well, hey, opponents only hitting .217 against him. He's getting knocked around a little bit here in the 8th. 2 runs on 3 hits. Curveball down in the dirt, covered up nicely by Michael Collins. Keeps it in front of him, and it's 2-2. What about some more big league scores for you? Philadelphia takes its 5th in a row. They sweep the Braves 6-3 the final at Citizens Bank Park. Jimmy Rollins' 4th home run. Ryan Howard hits number 6 for the Phils. High and away, and it's gone full. Boy, Atlanta 12-16. Didn't see that one coming. About former Brave Tom Glavine going the distance in a 6-0 shutout over Pittsburgh tonight. New York. The Mets improved to 19-9 behind Glavine's gem. There's a fastball strike on the outside corner. Down looking goes Anthony Granado. And that will do it for Modesto here in the top of the 8th. That's just the 3rd strikeout all night for Quakes pitching. First one from Mike Pete. But Modesto picks up 2 runs here in the 8th. 2 runs on 3 hits, including RBI doubles by Doc Brooks and Duke Sardina. No Quakes errors. 1 runner left. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Quakes getting blown out right now. They're down 10-0.
Hey folks, Rob Sinclair here to tell you about the good people at Nationwide Surveys and what they can do for your business. They can handle customer surveys, employee feedback, and even online and on-site data collection. That's Nationwide Surveys, reliable feedback, fast. Call them today at 1-800-252-0640 or visit them at nationwidesurveys.com. That's 800-252-0640 or online at nationwidesurveys.com. Hey fans, Rob Sinclair here reminding you that any night is a great night to enjoy Quakes baseball. Our Monday Madness promotion gets you 2 tickets, 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas, and 2 popcorns for just $12. Come out for Weenie Wednesdays and enjoy delicious Farmer John hot dogs for just $1. And every Thursday, quench your thirst with $1 beers and sodas on Dave & Buster's Thirsty Thursdays. To order Quakes tickets in person, stop by the Epicenter from 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 2 on Saturday. You can also order by phone by calling 909-481-5252 or buy tickets online at rcquakes.com.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by JP Construction Company, specializing in commercial and retail construction and renovations. But unlike many contractors, JP Construction doesn't just build buildings, they build relationships. JP Construction Company prides itself on its honesty, reliability, and integrity. They're fully licensed and bonded, and no project is too big or small. That's JP Construction Company, an honest and loyal contractor. Find them in your yellow pages.
It's the bottom of the 8th here in Rancho, Cucamonga, and Cody Fuller will lead it off for the Quakes. Looking at a fastball down low from Matt Daley, and it's 1-0. Fuller, Sandoval, and Rodriguez 1, 2, and 3. Up for Rancho here in the 8th. Quakes down 10-0. This one tap foul back to the backstop, and it's even at 1-1. Fans, take back what I said earlier about Tom Lavin throwing a shutout against Pittsburgh today. Lavin went 7 shutout innings, but did not go the distance. All the same, Mets kept Pittsburgh off the board 6-0. The final there is Lavin out-tools Paul Mahalam. 1-1. Little tapper foul up the third base line. And it's 1-2 on Cody Fuller. Other big league scores. Lance Berkman goes yard for the 11th time this year in Houston's 4-3 win over St. Louis. Andy Pettit gets the win. Chris Carpenter takes the loss, and Brad Lidge with his 11th save for the Astros. 1-2 to Cody Fuller. Foul down the right field side, and we'll do it again. Cincinnati defeats Colorado 7-1. Aaron Harang gets his 5th straight win for the Reds, who I believe are the first team to 20 wins in the major leagues. Adam Dunn with his 11th home run for Cincinnati. There's a fastball on the outside corner, called strike 3. Cody Fuller goes down looking. First strikeout for Matt Daley, 9th for Modesto pitching tonight. And Cody Fuller down on strikes for the second time. Got some final scores from the American League to pass along as well. Freddy Sandoval to the fastball outside. It's 1-0. We'll start with the parent club. Los Angeles Angels losing streak as they defeat the Detroit Tigers 7-2. Sandoval gets underneath this one and pops it up to shallow right field. Corey Wimberly will camp out and make the catch. And there are 2 away. 6-game losing streak snapped by Los Angeles today. And how about this? Mike Napoli, the former Quake, gets the start for Los Angeles today. And in his first at-bat, hits a home run. Got interviewed on the game afterwards, just said it was unreal. And so we pass along our congratulations to Mike Napoli. Fastball on the outside corner. Sean Rodriguez, it's 0-1. The announcers were asking Napoli how he found out that he was getting called up to the big leagues, and he said his manager in AAA Salt Lake, Brian Harper, called him into his office down the way there. It's 1-1, and said, "Do you have a passport?" And Napoli looked at him and said, yeah, I got a passport. What, you called me into your office to find out if I got a passport? And Fraunhofer said, well, Big Club is in Toronto. You're going to need one because you're going north of the border. So pack your stuff and get out of here. And that's how he found out that he was going to the big leagues. So congratulations to Mike Napoli, a home run in his first at-bat for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And Napoli, the Rancho Cucamonga product. 1-2 fouled back by Sean Rodriguez. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Quakes down 10-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. Rodriguez has been doing his part. 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a stolen base tonight. Right-hander against right-hander. Daley out of the line. Fastball fouled back. Offshore riding out of play. Still 1-2. The Chicago White Sox got a 4-1 win over Seattle tonight. The White Sox also have 20 wins. As Jose Contreras improves to 5-0. He's won 13 straight. There's a curveball, a little half swing and a miss by Sean Rodriguez. And that does it for the Quakes here in the 8th. Couple of strikeouts from Matt Daley and a pop-up in between. And Quakes go in order here in the 8th. That was mighty loud. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We go to the 9th, and the Quakes are down 10-0.
A few years ago, a small bank from Rancho Cucamonga started sending shockwaves through the banking industry. Vineyard Bank rolled through Southern California with a creative force that is changing the way we bank. We created small ripples at first, with innovative ways to move money quickly and effectively, where it would help businesses and families the most. Then our reputation grew stronger thanks to personal bankers with a can-do attitude committed to building lasting relationships. Vineyard Bank's financial performance was off the scale. A fast-growing bank with a rising stock. New, customer-friendly branches offering easy access to your money, opening throughout the Southland. Online banking on our award-winning website at www.vineyardbank.com. That's Vineyard Bank. Proud to be your hometown bank. Proud to support our hometown team. For more information, please call 1-800-442-4996. That's 1-800-442-4996. In baseball, there are day games, night games, and even the occasional twilight doubleheader. But you'll never see a first thing in the morning game. That's because mornings are for Farmer John. Whether it's delicious hardwood smoked bacon, savory sausage, or juicy ham steaks, they're all made fresh right here in Southland. There's even Farmer John quick serve bacon and sausage. It's ready in seconds. So share your afternoons and evenings with the Quakes. But mornings are for you and Farmer John. Get fresh. Get Farmer John.
Back here in Rancho Cucamonga, top of the 9th. And the Quakes down 10-0 as Chris Fry leads it off for Modesto. He'll be followed by Corey Wimberly and Jonathan Herrera, 9-1-2. To face the left-hander Mike Pete. First offering inside and hits Chris Fry right between the 1 and the 0. Not all that pleased about it, but decides not to press the issue with Mike Pete, and he'll take his base over there at first. So 7 times in the 9 innings tonight, Modesto gets the leadoff man aboard. Fans, want to remind you that Quakes Baseball is brought to you in part by Red Hill Barbecue of Rancho Cucamonga, located at 8111 Foothill Boulevard on the corner of Foothill and Grove. Red Hill Barbecue is the home of the $3.99 lunch special. Give them a call at 920-0558 for catering information, or visit them from 11 through 9 Monday through Thursday and 11 to 10 on Friday and Saturday. First offering to Corey Wimberly down in the dirt, bouncing away from the catcher Michael Collins. And the wild pitch will move Chris Fry up to second base. Count goes to 1-0 on Corey Wimberly. Tell you what, man, Red Hill Barbecue, they provided the press box food for us here tonight. They hooked us up. All sorts of ribs and chicken, and beans, bread, potato salad. Down low there, 2 balls and no strikes. Tell you what, Miss Anita over there at Red Hill Barbecue, and take good care of us. So go on and visit Red Hill Barbecue. Great little place, just kind of tucked away. Down low, 3 balls, no strikes. It's on the corner of Foothill and Grove, and man, just swing in there. $3.99 lunch special, man. It's one of the best deals in town. The 3-0 line drive, right center field. This will drop for Corey Wimberly. Chad Kruger going to wave Chris Fry around third. He'll come in to score. And Modesto on top, 11-0. So Corey Wimberly, kind of surprised that Wimberly had the green light there, 3-0. As he swings away, picks up his second hit and his second RBI, and Chris Fry comes in to score. First offering to Herrera outside, and it's a ball and no strikes. Well, there was a changeup swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crowd's still having a good time out here tonight. That's the most important thing. If it weren't for the fans, there would be no Quakes. Don't anybody ever forget that, man. We're here because you guys are here. Strike 1 and 2 on Herrera. Now there's no radio broadcaster. There's no me if there's nobody to listen. Now there's no players if there's nobody to watch them. The curveball, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Herrera holds up, and it's 2 and 2. Crowd tonight of 2,759. A nice crowd here on a thirsty Thursday. 2-2, little tapper back to the hill. Mike Pete will let it go. Sandoval calls him off and makes the throw in time to get Herrera. Nice job there by Freddy Sandoval. He called off Mike Pete and fired an absolute dart over to first base to get Herrera. Wimberly goes to second on the play, score at 5-3. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Got some other big league scores. Oakland blows out Cleveland 12-4 tonight in Oakland. A's got 5 in the first, then 2 more in the next 2 innings. They were up 9-0 at one point in that game. Strike to Miller, and it's 0-1. Travis Hafner and Grady Sizemore both homer for the Tribe in that defeat. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And here, the fans that are sticking around, they're vocal. And you can attribute that to what it will. On a completely unrelated note, it is Dollar Beer Night out here at the ballpark. So, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. Well, pop fly to right field. Ben Johnson going to camp out and make the catch. Matt Miller retired on a lazy fly ball, and there were 2 gone. Boston defeats Toronto 7-4. Kevin Euclid with a home run in that one for the Bo Sox. Matt Clement improves to 3-2. Josh Towers takes the loss for Toronto. He's now 0-6. And how about rookie sensation John Tavelbaum? His 11th save for the Bo Sox in that one. Here's a nasty little curveball to Justin Nelson, taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. Breaks down 11-0 here in the top of the 9th. Runner at second with 2 outs. Swing and a miss on a fastball. It's 0-2. Former Angel Troy Gloss homers in the loss for Boston, his 9th of the year. And Wisconsin's own Eric Hinsky going yard for the first time. Pride and joy of Menasha, Wisconsin. Former American League Rookie of the Year. Hinsky gets his first. 0-2, curveball down low. And it's a ball with 2 strikes. The New York Yankees double up Tampa Bay 10-5. A ball game in Tampa Bay. Johnny Damon hit a grand slam to help Randy Johnson to his 5th win of the year. Michael Collins setting up inside. 1-2, foul back. Kevin Millwood throws a 4-hitter as the Texas Rangers pick up their 6th in a row. 8-2, the final over Baltimore at Ameriquest Field in Arlington tonight. Mark Teixeira with his 4th home run, and Kevin Mensch with number 9 for the Rangers. 1-2. Curveball rolled over to the first baseman, Cliff Remley. Nice pick. And the throw to first is in time. As it looked like Mike Pete got stepped on over there at the first base bag. As there are... Isn't that the third out? They called him safe. And there's not going to be any argument. I can't believe they called him safe. Wow, I really thought that they had the out. I thought that was the inning right there. I dropped it. Okay, so Pete dropped the ball over there. Okay. All right, so Nelson is safe at first there. And it was a tough play. Remley had to go a pretty long ways to his right to field that ball on the backhand, then had to pivot and throw to Pete. And the throw wasn't great, but he didn't have a lot of time to really make it great. And Pete ended up dropping the ball and then got run into by Justin Nelson over there at first base. So runners on the corners now. And here's Doc Brooks. 2 on, 2 out. And Pete will stay in the game. Misses low with a curve. It's 1-0. Downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Doc Brooks, heck of a game tonight. 4 hits, couple of singles, couple of doubles, an RBI, and 3 runs scored for Doc. 2-0, curveball down in the dirt, 3 balls and no strikes. Kansas City, break them up, they got a win. Royals improved to 6-20. So it's a casual improvement for Kansas City. 1-0, they defeat Minnesota. On the road, no less. And there's a strike right down the middle. As Brooks was taken all the way, it's 3-1. 2 other games going on right now, both in the National League. Arizona with a 5-0 lead on the Cubs. They're in the 6th inning there. The ground ball to the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. From his backside, he'll throw out Justin Nelson at second base. For that one, 6-4 on the fielder's choice. And that does it for Modesto here in the 9th. So Modesto picks up a run on either 2 or 3 hits. There may be 1 error, or there may not be for the Quakes. We still haven't, and there is going to be an error on the Quakes. They're going to give Pete an error on that one. So a run, 2 hits, an error, and 2 left. To the 9th we go. Bottom of the 9th we go. Quakes down to their last 3 outs. They're down 11-0.
Friends and family visiting you this summer? Don't worry. Add a room instantly by calling your friends at the Red Roof Inn. Red Roof Inns offer quality rooms, friendly service, great rates, and kids stay free. Plus, as a Ready Car Preferred member, you'll earn points towards free room nights. With 360 Red Roof Inns nationwide, you'll find locations everywhere, including Ontario, San Dimas, and Victorville. Visit us today at redroof.com or dial 800-RED-ROOF.
For 60 years, you've included Best Western in your family's summer vacation. To say thanks, the Best Western hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada are offering a limited edition $50 Best Western travel card and up to 20% off your stays with their baseball fan rates. Experience the best summer ever with the Best Western hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada, because when you stay any 6 nights with them through August 19th, you'll receive a $50 travel card to use toward a future Best Western stay anywhere in the world, including the 338 hotels in California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Visit them today at bestwesternbaseball.com or call 866-743-8738. And remember to book the baseball fan rates.
Pure energy.
Share excitement.
Sky Sailing at the Warner Springs Airport offers you the chance to enjoy the grace, freedom, and joy of soaring.
Sky Sailing offers rides for 1 or 2 passengers in a sailplane.
Mention this radio station and get 15% off a 40-minute ride.
Give that someone special a flight ticket or treat yourself to the panoramic view of the backcountry in a sailplane.
Call Sky Sailing at 760-782-0404. That's 760-782-04.
Open 9 to 5 every day.
For more information, go to www.skysailing.com.
Back here in Rancho, Cucamonga. Bottom of the 9th. And a new pitcher in the game for Modesto, it's the right-hander Darren Clarke. As he will work to the middle third of the Quakes order. Collins, Remley, and Pauley, 4, 5, and 6. As the Quakes are down 11-0 here in the ninth. Right now, just trying to get on the board and avoid being shut out for the second time in this series. Collins will lead it off. He is 0 for 3. And is grounded out, struck out, and fly to center. Right-hander against right-hander. Darren Clarke, big, hard-throwing right-hander. Opens with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, swung on and missed. And it's 0-1. One game just went final in the American League. Arizona holds off the Cubs 6-0. And the D-backs now in a tie for first in the NL West. There's a slider from Clarke, waved at and missed. 0-2. Damian Easley and Chad Tracy. Tracy, a former East Carolina Pirate, with home runs for Arizona in that one. And the one game that's still going on, San Diego with a 3-0 lead on the Dodgers. That ball game going into the top of the ninth at Chavez Ravine. Here's a line drive the opposite way into right field. And a leadoff single for Michael Collins. That's just the fourth hit of the game for the Quakes. Got a leadoff double by Remley in the second. 1-out single by Fuller in the fifth. And a leadoff single by Rodriguez in the sixth. That's been it. Here's the aforementioned Cliff Remley. 1 for 3 with that second inning double. Big hack and a miss at 0-1. Since that double, Remley has grounded to second and bounced into a double play. As we will tell you about Darren Clarke, mentioned he's a big right-hander. We weren't lying to you, folks. 6'8". Down and in there, 1 ball, 1 strike. 6'8", 235. And actually shares the same birthday as Anthony Granado. A swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. Granado just got called up to Modesto yesterday and made his first start of the night for the Nuts tonight, day after St. Patrick's Day, March the 18th, in the same year as well, 1981, for both Darren Clarke and Anthony Granado. 1-2 to Remley. Foul back against the screen. We'll do it again. Darren Clarke on the season. 0-1 with a 2.08 earned run average. Also has 1 save in 10 previous relief appearances. The fans get the wave going here at the epicenter. Nice to see the ones that have stuck around. What I like particularly about this wave is the fact that they're trying to do it in 2 directions at once. The swing and a miss by Remley, and that is strike 3. You got the fans just off to our right that are trying to start the wave. And as they start it, the fans to their right go, and then the fans to their left go as well. So we're having kind of divergent waves out here at the ballpark. But you know what? It's all about your point of view. First offering to Pauley down low, and it's 1-0. Pauley's been aboard twice, has walked and been hit by a pitch. Grounded out in the middle of all that back in the fourth. Quakes down 11-0. 1-0, reached out and rolled to the first baseman. Sardina goes to second, and Herrera cannot hold on to the ball. That'll be a fielder's choice. And that Pauley reaches. So Collins safe on the play at second. And if you're Duke Sardina, kind of have to wonder what he was thinking right there.
I don't know. I don't think it's an error in the play. I think it's just a fielder's choice. He made a bad decision, but it wasn't an error.
There's Nate Sutton into the left side. Runners at first and second. And a swing and a miss It's 0-1. So yeah, if you're Duke Sardina, you kind of have to wonder why he's bothering to try to get the lead runner right there. You're up 11-0. Swinging the ball foul tipped. It's 0-2. They take the out at first base. I don't know what Sardina was thinking there, but runners at first and second. Here's the 0-2 to Nate Sutton. Fastball swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. Couple of strikeouts for Clarke here in the bottom of the ninth. Quakes now down to their final out. And Sutton goes down swinging for the third time. And here's Drew Toussaint. Right-hander against right-hander. Fastball on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. North fans open up a 3-game series tomorrow in Bakersfield. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon against the Blaze, the team that the Quakes swept here at home to open the season. Fastball down and away to Toussaint. 1-1 the count on Big Drew. He walked, flied out, and struck out. 1-1, chased a high fastball, came up empty, and it's 1-2. Collins at second, Bally at first. One, two, fastball fouled back, and we'll do it again. Clarke from the stretch. 1-2 fastball, swung on and missed. And that is strike 3. And Darren Clarke strikes out the side. That will do it for this ball game, as the Quakes get shut out for the second time in this series. A final count of 11-0. Quakes in the ninth, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 left. Final score tonight, Modesto wins at 11-0. We'll step aside for 90 seconds. Be back with the post-game totals and wrap-up. You're listening to the Quakes Radio Network.
You're listening to Rob Sinclair and Quakes Baseball on AM 1370 KWRM Corona.
Rancho Cucamonga Quakes Baseball has been brought to you in part by the Ontario Airport Marriott, Vineyard Bank, Charter Media, Galliano Winery, the City of Laughlin Convention and Visitors Bureau, Sprint, Chipotle, Red Roof Inn, the City of Rancho Cucamonga, Allstate Insurance, Farmer John, Xbox, Yellow Book USA, and NationwideSurveys.com. KWRM 1370 is the radio home for Quakes Baseball all season long. This has been Rancho Cucamonga Quakes Baseball. The Yellow Book USA postgame show is next.
Faucets leaking, termites feasting, fishing, tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into the other book, not the other book. Fences, gates, inline skates, artists, posers, florists, grocers, water coolers, bakers, jewelers, everything from A to Z. Duct tape, landscape, sit-down mowers, dentists, false teeth, uppers, lowers, wholesale, retail, bomb bell, white whale. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into the yellow book. Let your fingers walk into the yellow book, not the other book.
To place your ad at people's fingertips, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
Welcome to the Yellow Book USA post-game show. Put your information up in Yellow Book, not the other book. This is Quakes Baseball.
Fans, welcome back to the Epicenter. Yellowbook USA postgame show is on the air. Tonight, the Quakes fall to Modesto Nuts by a final count of 11-0. Final line score in this one looks like this. Modesto gets the victory, and the Nuts take 2 out of 3 from the Quakes in the process. Modesto climbs over 500 with a victory. Nuts now 14-13. 11 runs on 17 hits for Modesto. They committed 1 error, left 12 men on base, 6 of them in scoring position. The Quakes, meanwhile, fall to 14-13 with the loss as they continue their trend of winning 1 and losing 1, but lately they've been losing more often than they have won. And you heard that Bobby Mitchell on the On Deck show, if you were with us for that, was kind of frustrated about that, about the inconsistency of winning and losing. Quakes now have dropped 7 out of their last 10. And they've been shut out 4 times, I believe, in the last 10 as well. Twice in this series. 8-0 on Tuesday night, and now 11-0 here tonight. So Quakes fall to 14-13 with a loss. No runs on only 4 hits. They committed 1 error, left 8 men on base, 6 of them in scoring position. The winner tonight for Modesto was Samuel Deduno. He gets the win and improves to 2-1. Deduno works into the 7th, throws 6 2/3 shutout innings, gave up only 3 hits, walked 4, and struck out 8. Also hit 1 batter, but he was fantastic. Taking the loss for the Quakes was Francisco Rodriguez, who battled into the 5th, ends up giving up 6 runs in 4 1/3 innings of work, as Frankie's record drops to 0-2, and there was no save in this one. So again, Modesto gets the victory. That's improved to 14-13 on the year. 11 runs, 17 hits, 1 error, and 12 left for Modesto. Rancho Cucamonga drops to 14-13. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 8 left on the personal side of things. Samuel Deduno gets the win. He improves to 2-1. Francisco Rodriguez takes the loss. He drops to 0-2. Fans, let's go ahead and step aside for 60 seconds. We'll come back, take a look at how these runs were scored. And we'll also get you all caught up on the California League scoreboard. That's coming up in 1 minute right here on the Quakes Radio Network.
Faucets leaking, termites feasting, fishing, tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Cloud and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, coffee makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers do the walking, the book, not the other book. Florists, grocers, water coolers, bakers, jewelers, everything from A to Z. Duct tape, landscape, sit-down mowers, dentists, false teeth, uppers, lowers, wholesale, retail, bomb mail, white whale. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers do the walking, do the yellow book. Let your fingers do the walking, do the yellow book, not the other book.
To place your ad at people's fingertips, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
Back here in Rancho Cucamonga, where the Quakes fall tonight by a final of 11-0. Take a look at how these runs were scored. Modesto never trailed, picked up 3 runs in the top of the 2nd against Francisco Rodriguez. It started when Doc Brooks led off with a double. He eventually was retired on a fielder's choice as Neil Wilson reached first. Then Wilson went to 2nd on a wild pitch. Duke Sardino walked, and Anthony Granado drew a walk to load the bases. So bases loaded with 1 out. Francisco Rodriguez got Chris Fry to pop up for the first out, but then hit Corey Wimberly. That forced in a run, and then Jonathan Herrera came through with a 2-run single to left. That made it 3-0. Modesto added a couple more runs in the 3rd. Justin Nelson led off with a single. Doc Brooks followed with a base hit to put runners at 1st and 2nd, and then a double by Neil Wilson made it 4-0, and Duke Sardina's sacrifice fly made it 5-0. Modesto added a run in the 5th, an RBI double by Anthony Granado, 2 more in the 7th, 2 more in the 8th, and 1 more in the 9th. Meanwhile, Quakes had some chances early and didn't take advantage of them, and then just got shut down the rest of the way. In the 1st, Freddy Sandoval walked with 1 out, stole 2nd, eventually got to 3rd, but was left stranded there. In the 2nd, Quakes had a great shot in a game that they were down 3-0 in at that point. Remley led off with a double. Pauley followed with a walk. And then eventually they went to 2nd and 3rd. and Drew Toussaint drew a walk. That loaded the bases with only one out, but Josh LeBlanc struck out. Cody Fuller hit the ball on the nose, but lined out to the shortstop, Jonathan Herrera. And Quakes left the bases loaded there in the second. Then had Sean Rodriguez at second base with two out in the third, and weren't able to bring him in. And just really got nothing going. Box scores looked like this. Quakes held to 4 hits. Cody Fuller had one. Sean Rodriguez had one. Mike Collins had one. And Cliff Remley had one. His hit was a double. Quakes strike out 13 times as a team here tonight. Nate Sutton, the main culprit, going 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Fans, let's go ahead, take one last 60-second break. We'll come back, take a look at the California League scoreboard, and then get you all set up for tomorrow's broadcast from Bakersfield. And, of course, the erstwhile voice of the Quakes, Jason Anaforian, who held that title for the last 2 years, will be with you tomorrow night from Bakersfield. We'll go ahead and set aside one last 1-minute break, and then back to finish things up from the epicenter. Quakes lose 11-0 tonight. We'll be back on the Quakes Radio Network.
Faucets leaking, termites feasting, fish and tackle, paints and spackle, tubs, jacuzzis, tapes and movies, everything from A to Z. Tile and lumber, tons of plumbers, elevators, carpet makers, radiators, party favors. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into the book, not the other book. Artists, posers, florists, grocers, water coolers, bakers, jewelers, everything from A to Z. Duct tape, landscape, sit-down mowers, dentists, false teeth, uppers, lowers, wholesale, retail, Bombay, white whale. Take a look and you'll see. Let your fingers walk into the book. Let your fingers walk into the book, not the other book.
To place your ad at people's fingertips, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
Back here on the Yellow Book USA postgame show tonight. Final score, Nuts 11 and the Quakes nothing. And let's take a look at what happened around the California League. Look at the scoreboard. Starting the Northern Division, San Jose, the best team in the league, proves why. Get a run in the bottom of the ninth for a walk-off win over Visalia, 10-9. The final, as San Jose is a run better than the Oaks tonight. In interdivision play, Lancaster, I'll tell you what, man, the Jackhawks have started to get it figured out a little bit. They were 5-5 in their last 10. That's not great, but they started off so terribly. They get a win over Stockton tonight, 7-4, the final in Lancaster, as the Jethawks pick up a W. Lake Elsinore shuts out Inland Empire, 3-0, the final in that one. So Lake Elsinore will pick up a half game on High Desert, and Inland Empire drops now a full game back of the Mavericks. High Desert was off tonight, and here, of course, in Rancho Cucamonga, the Quakes fall by a final count of 11-0. So with High Desert being off, they will be a game in front of Inland Empire when we wake up tomorrow. Rancho Cucamonga and Lake Elsinore will be tied for third, 2 full games back of the Mavericks. Let's take a look at what is coming up tomorrow and get you all set up for that broadcast, as the Quakes will visit Bakersfield for the first time. First pitch tomorrow is set for 7:15. Now, we are going to be tape delayed. It will be a 9 o'clock-ish start on the tape delay of the broadcast here on KWRM. The first pitch set for 7:15, and again, I will not be there, but you will have the dulcet tones of Jason Anaforian, who will reprise his role as voice of the Quakes for the next 3 games as I go home to take care of some family business. So we thank Jason Anaforian profusely for being able to help us out and handle these 3 games up in Bakersfield. I know you guys are going to enjoy listening to him again, and we thank him very much for being gracious enough to take the reins for the next 3 days. Pitching matchups tomorrow look like this. Rancho will send a right-hander, Jose Arredondo, to the hill. League leader in strikeouts, has a record of 1-0 and a 2.13 ERA. He'll be opposed by Bakersfield right-hander John Bannister, who is 0-1 with a 4.74 earned run average. Again, first pitch tomorrow set for 7:15. We'll be on the air at 9 o'clock here on KWRM. Pitching matchups, Jose Arredondo for the Quakes, John Bannister for the Blaze. And we'll look forward to sharing that one with you tomorrow. Well, fans, that's the story from here at the Epicenter, where tonight The Quakes fall by a final count of 11-0. They get shut out for the second time in this series and drop 2 out of 3 to Modesto. For everyone who has been a part of this one, especially tonight's producer and director, Mark Fiore, my name is Rob Sinclair, wishing all of you a very pleasant good evening, and reminding you that Quakes Baseball is a presentation of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes and Quakes Radio Network. Again, the final score here tonight, Modesto 11 and Rancho Cucamonga nothing. So long, everybody. You've been listening to Quakes California League Baseball.
You've been listening to the Yellow Book USA postgame show. Look your information up in Yellow Book, not the other book. KWRM 1370 is the radio home for Quakes baseball all season long. This has been Quakes Baseball.